Matthew Bilski,
Uh,
what's up with that, man?
Good evening, everyone. Before Mike gets himself in trouble, welcome to Paranormal Talk. I have Michelle DeRoche and Sean Kelly and Michael Angley with us, and God knows who might show up later on. You never know on this show. I hope everyone had a great Halloween. I mean, we were just talking about the different things on Halloween, and we hung out for a while last night, chit chatting for a couple hours, just about dumb things and weird things and strange things and whatever else things we could find to go bump in the night. But I was telling them I had a quiet Halloween. Where I live right now, you know, nobody comes knocking here. I mean, first off, the next house is like 4 acres away, 5 acres. So, and the next house is like 10. So it's like walking through this neighborhood is like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of rich homes up in here. I'm sure they're giving out a lot of candy, but it's just too far for kids. They can go like in like the neighborhoods behind us. They're all like one little lot, two little lots, kids everywhere. But around here, they leave us alone. Plus, I put scary pumpkins out there that look like they might eat you. Just to warn the heathens to stay away from my house. We're on the air last night. Linda walks by up the road blocking, and when I go get off there, I'm looking down there, road blocking in front of the house again, just road blocking away. We got the worst cops for screwing up somebody's holiday than I've ever seen. They just out there every holiday, road blocking away, and it's weird because they're not running the license. I guess they just want to see if they smell weed in your car or if you look drunk, and then they're gonna take you out the car.
What if you're using like weed cologne?
You're probably gonna get pulled over. You're probably gonna get pulled over, man. That's all I can tell you.
Is that even a thing?
Yeah, it is actually a thing, but actually several varieties of it from last I heard. But
it is now.
It is. No, it's a thing. It's always I had seen it out in Colorado. Somewhere we were visiting, I seen it out there. Colorado.
There's marijuana gin.
There's marijuana.
They fused it with wine too.
I've
seen that.
There's marijuana everything.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine goes there. He goes to the Cannabis Cup Awards every year in Sweden. He said there's 3 or 4 places that everything they serve has marijuana in it, everything. He said so him and his wife and his sister-in-law and his brother stopped to eat. He said by the time they got from there, the car, they were so loaded. He said, oh, it's all in there. It tastes good. It's not getting you high. The guy said, oh, it might get you a little buzz. So you might want to be a little careful how much you eat. They were pigging out because the food was really good. And I still remember they're trying to videotape the cameras doing this number. One's taking it. It was freaking hilarious. I said, guys, how loaded were you? We couldn't find the car. It was parked 2 cars away from us. I was like, what?
Awkward moment.
Like, yes. He said, we all finally just sat down and decided we would have some coffee. So they went to the coffee shop and they said, please tell me it does not have marijuana. And he said, we have both. I was laughing and they're not, they don't really do this stuff or smoke it. So it was kind of awkward for them. It really messed them up. But
now, is it legal down in New Orleans?
It's medical marijuana is legal in New Orleans. And
okay.
They just loosened the law. The first one was you had to have like glaucoma or some kind of cancer to get it. Now it's a lot looser now. So really, basically, you go get your medical card and you can go get it. So it's not like L.A. Oh my God, I'm not kidding you. I've been out to L.A. 2 times in the last 3 years, and both times within 15 feet I was high. I mean, they smoke on every corner. They smoke in every alleyway because it's legal. They were smoking. I'm staying at one of the most prestigious hotels in L.A. and they smoking at the front door, and nobody's telling them anything. I'm like, and it was me and 2 other judges that were there. We sitting there, and these 3 guys were next to. They were blowing so much smoke. I was like, Jesus. I said, I'm either gonna have to go in or move. I said, I'm catching a serious contact buzz. I was like, I thought about that song, I'll Never Smoke Weed with Willie Again, man. Jesus. It was like, whoa, it was crazy out there, and it was so funny. Because we're sitting up in the room, listening to lectures, and I look down. There's not 1 weed van, but 2 that deliver and sell on the curbside. I'm like, look at this town. And I'm thinking, if you bitches was in Mississippi, you'd be going to jail right now. Oh man, it's the state. It's weird when you're crossing the United States. It's like legal, not legal, legal, not legal, legal, and you got to watch the not legal states, especially Texas and some of the other ones, because they set up the scams they run on you. If you go 1 mile over the speed limit, they'll stop you for a warning. That's what they tell you. Oh, we're just warning that you were speeding. We're not going to write you a ticket. But then they go, oh, I smell marijuana. I need to search your car. And Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas have that. They don't have to get a warrant to search your car.
See, But
probable
if you're
cause.
smoking, the last thing you want to do is speed. No marijuana. Nobody ever put that in a sentence. This speeder was on marijuana. You want to enjoy the ride. You go slow, man. One time I looked down, I was going 5 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Told her we're going too slow.
I was in a Z28 driving past three-state
Seems like he's going to jail at this point.
troopers,
Uh,
Jones Beach.
So you're
I'm
the
like,
annoying
and then I'm
guy
like,
in
oh shit,
freaking
I'm going
fast
5 miles
lanes.
an hour.
well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Claire, we are talking
Then you
supernatural
jerk the
beings.
pedal, and it's like,
Apparently, we're talking about
'cause
ones
you,
that get high at the moment. Let me put it over
what?
there so I can see what's going on here. But
All
it's
right.
it's weird. No, it's weird. I
So
mean,
yeah, you should never do
it's
that and
weird when you
drive.
travel, though. I mean, if you're someone who smokes or you don't smoke, it doesn't really matter at this point because it's like a roller coaster ride across the country. One state, no state, good state, bad state, good state, bad state, good state.
Oh yeah, roller coaster ride will get you a
So
misdemeanor, man.
well, you leave Las Vegas. It's legal. You drive through Utah. It's not. You drive in Colorado. It is. You hit Texas. Oh my God, you're going to jail. It's like what the fuck is going on here?
Coffee's not even legal in Utah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Like
I
Coca-Cola.
gotta say though, man, Utah. Now you want to talk about supernatural beings? We were out in Utah. Utah is a freaky deaky state.
It
So,
is that one guy could have like 9 wives in Utah.
well, yeah, that's if you're one of the Mormons or
That's
whatever
some
they are.
really ET stuff.
You know what's weird about that? All the hotels. I'm not kidding you. I stayed in 4 different hotels so far since I've been out there. All the hotel has like Mormon. Their wives work there. They're all done up in the regular clothes and they had hair up in a bun. It's just kind of creepy, weird in a way. You kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? We like flashing back in time. But actually, it was really bad. They told me about all kind of weird shit out there in the desert. I know we stopped. We were coming back from Area 51. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And my guide, this dude's crazy as I am. Oh, we're gonna stop right here on the side of the road. So we stopped right on the side of the road in the middle of bumfuck beat nowhere, and all you could see was stars. You could see this distant white glow off in the distance, which happened to be Las Vegas, but you couldn't see nothing else. It was just stars everywhere, and we were in a high part of the desert. It was crazy out there. All of a sudden, you start hearing the coyotes. They hoot and they talk at each other. They move around because I guess they could see us. They making these little squeals and beeps and clicks, and he goes, they got some man-like thing out here they talk about that scares off all the animals and stuff. And sure enough, he just 10 minutes after they said that, because there was 4 carloads of us actually. I had 2 girls in the back just start squealing. I'm like, what the hell? You didn't see the guy walk across the street? I said, no. By the way, Utah's an open carry state. I said, no, I did not see anybody. So I went in the car, got the gun out the car, put the gun on my side, and said, let's go see what we can find. Got the Q beam out, said, we're going to find if there's anything out here. But man, there's some creepy stuff out there. And out by Area 51, it's weird. So, you're standing at Area 51 they got one camera that tracks you. Anytime you get within like 5 feet of the fence, they just track you movement back and forth. And I forgot which one of the crazies went and jumped on the fence, and the camera just stopped and looked. I'm waiting to see guards. Obviously, there's no guards in these towers or in these things because they never came out, not even one time. And I didn't even see a vehicle for that matter. It was creepy, weird. So it's starting to be about dusk, and you'd see stuff that looked like. One of the old timers said there's like some kind of weird devil duster that gets along the fence line and just runs up and down. I swear it looks like somebody moving up and down the fence line. It's creepy looking. I have no idea, and I couldn't get close enough to one to see what it really was. And some people said they were dirt devils. Some people said it was some kind of Indian thing. Some people said it was something that the Area 51 uses for protection. That's like, really? Okay.
I
So
vote meth
basically,
heads.
it could be that too.
Methamphetamine is very big out there.
You know how many burnt out fires there were around this place? So a lot of people camp out there at night, right there at that gate, and you see, there's all kind of expended fires. And I'm
A
thinking,
lot of people
really?
buried out there too.
But I mean, hey, Stone. So I would think, if you're going to go to Area 51 and look for creepy, weird things, I would think you want to go a ways away from the guard post. I mean, the place is humongous. I went to 4 gates. They showed me 4 different gates, and that's the new gates. Before you could actually get in, went about another 10 miles. So this is a weird thing too. So your boy hooks it down. He's in his Jeep. He hooks it down this gravel road. He's doing like 100 this forest. We're cruising. Big cloud of white smoke behind us. We cruising on. All of a sudden, we're on blacktop. Nice, pretty blacktop too, man. I'm like, look at this. So we're still cruising along on pretty blacktop for about another 10, 15 miles. And then boom, guess what we ran into? Area 51. I was like, well, this is weird. They got. So when we were leaving, so we were cruising down the blacktop, getting ready to hit the gravel, and you could see 4 black cars on a black bus headed towards us. So your boy got a little paranoid because he didn't know who they were. So there was a cutoff that took you over to the little alien inn. So he just took the cutoff, and we all took it with him. And you seen two cars go by the bus, and the last car turned off and followed behind us all the way to Alien Inn, and sat there and watched us for quite some time. I was like, but we were idiots. We were hanging up the UFOs, talking to the people inside the place, filming everything we could get our fingers on. And obviously we bored them because eventually they left. But even when I was at the little Alien Inn, they were telling us about all kind of weird shit they see out there. And so get this: so the people from Alien Inn on Christmas and Thanksgiving go bring food out to all the different gates and leave it out the gates for the guys to eat. Been doing it for like a decade now.
Hey, Joshua.
Hey, Josh, what's up? That's
Hey,
just weird.
Josh.
And I guess they wait till they leave to get the food because they say when they come back, it's always gone.
You think it was drugged, man? I wouldn't touch that stuff.
Well, they know who it is. So there's no doubt they monitor the little place over there. They've got all kind of weird radio interference when you're there. Your phones don't work. Nothing works over there. And I love it. You get there, no gasoline for 150 miles. And so you're looking at your car going, okay, I got 250 miles. I'm all right. If it says below 150, you're screwed. You better find somebody to go get some gas for you. It's a creepy place out there, and you do hear weird stuff. And then everywhere you go, beware cattle, beware cattle, beware deer, beware cattle, beware deer, beware cattle. They're freaking everywhere. And if you hit somebody's cow and kill it out there, you're responsible for it. I'm thinking, wait, you letting these things roam? Move, I hit it, and I got to buy it? Oh, yeah, you got to buy it. And some of them big bulls, man, they run $10,000-$15,000. So I was kind of like, and the speed limit's 95 out. I'm not shitting you. 95 is the speed limit. And you need to go that fast because it feels like you're not even moving. It's just like a flat road, just cruising, and you're like, shh.
Well, a cow doesn't just run the hell in front of you, man. I mean, you got to be able to see down the road. Cows aren't the fastest creatures on the planet.
Yeah, bulls are, and ones that are out in the wild, they can be pretty fast.
Have you ever seen a bull
Joe
run?
hit that fast ass cow. He's right in front of that Pathfinder, man.
The worst thing I've seen out there, even though we see a bunch of cows, the worst thing I've seen is we were in some Indian reservation at the top of this mountain, and I still remember, Joe, is that deer? I said, yeah, it's deer. And they were all up in the road, just kind of walking, so we had this they were everywhere. I mean, they had to be 10,000 deer. Them freaking deer were everywhere. And I'm blowing a horn, flashing lights, and they're not even bothering getting out of my way. They're like, whatever, dude. You can't hunt us. I'm thinking that. And we've seen a lot of deer and a lot of rabbits on the way up. On the way down, we've seen a lot of
big
cats.
ass rabbits out there, too, man. They're huge.
A lot of good ones. But there's so many creepy. So he took us to four different ghost towns. So the first one just was, old abandoned town way out in the middle of the desert in Utah. I'm thinking, okay, is there anything eerie, scary, weird about it? So, yes, I guess there is. And so one of the hey,
ghost alert.
One of the first ones I walked into was I walk in this place and I'm looking. First, there's no floor. You can't. It's just some boards going across it. So when you walk, I'm looking up at it, going, do I really want to walk in this rickety ass place? I mean, I'm a contractor for trade. I'm thinking, only an idiot would walk through here, and I ain't shitting you. First thing you hear is, you should not come in here. And the two people that were with me, and I didn't know these people from Bean, they were just going along with my partner. He just took a bunch of us from the conference, and they just backed the hell up. I'm like, whoa. And I was like, and then somebody walked up behind me and he said, I meant all y'all, you should not come in here. And everybody backed up at that point. So I said, going back to go get Martha out the car. I'm going to see what's up in this place. And by the time I got back, you could hear something on the very far left corner of the building. I have no idea what it was. It sounded like it was something digging. It was digging fast. Like they had a shovel. You know how a shovel sounds when it hits loose rock? That's what it sounded like. But I never could find anybody. I walked the whole place 3 times, video recorder, running everything, gun, recorder, everything, whole 9 yards. Never seen anything. And when you got back to that corner, you could still hear him digging. And you could hear it real good on the tape, but you couldn't see anything. And I looked under the building and everything. I couldn't see anything there. I could just hear it like somebody was digging. And he's like, see, that's why I told you it's haunted. I told you it's haunted. And we went to a few of them, man. It was creepy out there, especially at dusk.
Oh, bet.
Once it gets dark, you can only see what your lights will show you. And in the daylight, it doesn't seem to be as active. But I'll tell you, man, dusk, all of them seem to be creepy ass little places. I was just thinking about dropping Michael off there and let him see what he can find.
And they're done.
Hey, we'll go.
Mm.
Who knows? Maybe there was a building with all them vampires. What was that movie, Dusk to Dawn?
Yep,
Yeah, well,
it's a
yeah,
good one.
that's the thing. You just never know what's out there when you're out there. And a good friend of mine, he cracks me up. So we go. He invited me to his investigation. He said, "You bringing your gun?" He said, "Yeah." He's good. I bought some silver bullets. I said, "You're shitting me, right?" He said, "No, they're real silver." He said, "I want you to put one in every other bullet." I'm like, "What the hell are you expecting to go find out here?" They're not gonna leave. I said, "Okay, I'll put them in there because if it's made out of real silver, you're not gonna get that much range out of it. It's gonna start to tumble on you. It's gonna get heated by the barrel." But anyway, I was like, what do you expect to find? So we get out there, and they had skinned wolf skins out there, several of nice ones. So these are big wolves they had captured. And lately, they've been talking about since we've made it illegal to hunt wolves, the big ones are coming back now in all the states. The big monster wolves are coming back, and they looked like they were pretty big. And then every now and then you hear something howling and shit. I said, "Well, I'm telling you now, if a wolf comes right around the corner, I'm shooting him. It's not even going to be a thing. I'm just going to shoot his ass, and that's going to be the end of that." You could hear something was following us or pacing us would be a better way of saying it, because there's about five of us walking together, and you could hear at least two or three things behind us walking. And it's not that unusual. When I used to hunt, some animals would walk behind you, especially bears and shit. But whatever it was, we'd never seen it, and every now and then just rip out a just weird yelp, not like a howl like a wolf, like a what the hell you'd call it, like somebody just stabbed something in the side or something. It was screaming. It was a weird sound, but we never did see what it was.
It's almost like
Still,
a hyena, or not a hyena, a coyote.
it might have been. It was weird, whatever it was. Yeah, it was.
Cats scream too, man. You
Oh yeah,
ever
big cats
hear
did.
big
True.
cats and that they scream like
Yeah.
a woman scream?
Yeah,
Ah, it's crazy.
yeah, big
Hey,
cats.
Joe,
Whatever.
I have a question. Whenever you
Whatever.
went out, whenever you went out and you were on an Indian reservation, were they open to talk about the different types of supernatural beings in their land? Were they open about it, or were they tight-lipped?
Everywhere I've ever been, they've been pretty open. But I'm also part Native American, so.
Okay.
Uh, but
I think for the most part, they're open to talk about their folklore. It's oral history after all. It's what they do. They tell us, And I've worked on quite a few pieces of land that have been, butting up against reservations, and the shaman are really welcoming, with
Okay.
information, talking about elementals. And up here we have a thing called like the Wendigo,
Yeah,
which
I heard of
is
that. Yeah, I heard of that.
that thing is crazy. It would almost resemble some of the pagan forest, um, deities that they had, but it's definitely indigenous. It's very it goes back to more like along the lines of the Algonquin legends, and it is said to be a mythical creature or an evil spirit. And sometimes they're described as being 12 to 15 feet high. They smell like rotting flesh, sharp teeth, long stringy hair, glowing red eyes. Almost sounds like a demonic description, but nobody really knows where it comes from. So there's a lot that to do with that, but most of the time that's a Canadian thing, and butts the northern US will butt up against some of that, infringe on some of that folklore, and those tribes there will sometimes describe it, and I've had experiences with it also.
God, thank
I,
you.
I had one native
Um,
tribe told me they thought Michael was a baby Sasquatch.
That's right, man.
He kind of looks
I
like a
got my
baby
friend
Sasquatch.
Wally up there, man, in up way, way, way north in Arizona, man. You know, Lake Powell, right? He's a big Navajo guy, man. He does YouTube videos, as a matter of fact, tells the old stories, man. I love listening to that type of stuff because it's untainted history. It's really the stories they cherish. It's not something that they alter over time either, because it's very important for them to tell the tale word for word. But when you think of the creatures and all these demons and the horns and the rotting flesh, all that stuff, to me, they just are antisocial. They don't want to be around people, man. You know what? The real demons The true demons are beautiful. They suck people in. They're the ones in Hollywood. They're the ones, all the people that have all the stuff. They're the ones who actually destroy people's lives. So if you're that's your job to be a demon is to mess with people, being that creature walking around some canyon in Utah, you ain't doing it. You know what I mean? But being there, able to control, and not just financially, but emotionally control people, man. Look at the stuff going on today, even in politics, how people are just being manipulated and controlled so easily too. You almost have a disdainment for human beings after seeing that kind of tripe, you know. So yeah, that's my rant.
All
We're about
right.
10 minutes.
That's my paranormal rant for tonight. UFOs? Why? Why? I saw a UFO and a bumper sticker. And you know what it said? It said you fuck one monkey and look what happens. You know. So
I was
that's
saying when you were
Oh.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to touch that. I don't think I will. Sometimes you just have to
I
pick your
just dropped
battles
the
and
bomb.
know
Day
when
after
to not say
Halloween.
anything.
111. November 1st.
Yeah.
I'm just making the sure the other thing got it. It's what was I was getting all kind of emails yesterday about when we're doing more politics. I'm like, why? I said Friday we forgot to talk about politics, even though it was a political show.
But
Like,
UFOs are political. Look what they're doing.
nah,
Look at those. What do you think those things were floating above the Nimitz, man? They didn't say. They don't know. Oh,
no,
well,
that
we
was our
don't know.
first drones.
You
But
have all
now they're
this.
starting to say that they're going to be coming forward and saying that there is extraterrestrial life.
Well, how many trillions do you have in your budget to not know something? That's pretty pathetic.
It's a no-brainer. They're like, oh, are they trying to ease us into it? No, no. I'm pretty sure we all have camera phones. We all see shit. We probably disclose more than you guys do. So
Yeah, but
you know,
most people still don't. Most people still don't want to believe. And most people want to have their
mm,
little peaceful
You know
lives and
what? We should
not think there's anything out there that might probe them.
Are they
make
open
William
minded
what
up
is
Shatner
Canada?
William
probing?
Shatner
Wait, one at a
William
time.
Shatner as the ambassador. That works for me. How about you guys?
No,
Oh
but
no, Will's
what
getting
was
kind of
funny
old.
was a comment William Shatner made for the flat Earth people because we had like a flat Earth person on. I found it really
They're good too.
fascinating. Yeah, really
Yeah.
fascinating. And he basically came in and he goes, "The world is not flat. I saw it." It's like, all right, William Shatner. You know,
It's not flat. It doesn't take
I
much of
know.
brain power to figure out it's not flat, but people
Yeah.
people get their
Muslims
belief
believe
system.
the Earth is flat. You know what? This is the real. This is where people fail in that connection about the flat Earth thing. It was Muhammad that was supposedly taken into space by the Archangel Gabriel, and he got to see the current civilization, the whole Earth, went out in the universe and saw future civilizations later on, right? And amazing stories if you think about it.
Mhm.
But it came all from that, where the Earth wasn't round; it was shaped like an egg, and then that was the part of it that people kind of somehow they flipped it in the Muslim culture and religion to make it flat. But it's not. They don't believe in flat. But yeah,
Mm.
there are people that believe the Earth is flat. I don't get that.
Oh man.
Shatner says
You know
no.
what? We had a guest on. We had a guest who thought the world was flat, and he talked so fast and so much that we never got a chance to go in and ask him some questions about it. Do you
I
know
wonder if
that?
we had the same guest.
May have been.
It sounds a little bit.
Seriously, I
Yeah.
was just like, wow, this guy would not shut up. Would
No,
not.
but you know what? We had when our guy was on, we ended up with a whole other following because we treated him so well. Because I mean, to me, it's just like, no, I want to hear what you have to say,
Right.
and I want to hear your perspective. I don't have an understanding of it, so I'm learning something also. His followers in chat, which were numerous, went from being, oh, just expecting us to attack him because everybody does, to the end of it all, we had a whole other, it was almost like a cult following. It was just weird.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
wasn't very
grateful,
good.
but just very, very bizarre.
Yeah, he got
So,
good. Was getting good numbers until YouTube pulled the whole station.
yeah, thanks, but I'm not going to go there because I'm going to end up with hate mail. So Joshua says, guys, my grandfather and dad used to hunt bears in the Ozarks, and they would tell some of the people that died who would come up there to the camp and talk to them. Oh, okay. So people who have passed away, am I understanding this, would come and talk to them while they were up there at the camp?
People from bear attacks,
Bear
and they were trying
attacks
to
or
warn them off. Okay, man,
bears?
you
Yeah,
get your ass out of
shoot
here.
some
Some of the
more
people
bears.
that died. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fascinating.
You
I've
guys ever
heard that.
smell a
Members
bear?
of my family have had the same sort of experiences, just
You
under
ever
different
smell a bear?
circumstances.
I smell a bear.
Yeah, they get pretty close to you in the swamp.
No, man, I was we were doing a ghost hunt, as a matter of fact, and south of Ithaca, that Connecticut Hill area, and we put a hunting cam. There was like this bombed out shack of a building, still had floors basically, that type of thing, but really old, like late 1700s type of old, and
Keep it
that's the
up
kind of
close.
area it is. Anyway, this guy told us this amazing story how they were hunting, they were coming out of there, and then the dad got kind of stuck in some kind of vortex. He couldn't move, couldn't talk. His son thought he was having some kind of stroke, And then his son
Crazy.
went to grab his arm and pull him, and he said it felt like his hands went numb, like he couldn't do it. He couldn't do anything. Anyway, we're like, wow, let's check this out, because they both thought they saw a little girl standing in the window of that bombed out
Hmm.
building. So anyway, we go there with a hunting camera, put the hunting camera up there for like a week or so, just to see if we can gather anything going past there, any kind of images, because hunting cameras are awesome. I love them. And if you're a paranormal investigator, no matter what, you use a hunting camera,
I love them.
especially with like a less than a half a second trigger time and a really sensitive PIR sensor. You're in the zone. Anyway, we caught this bear who kept kind of coming around, going around. Then we were there doing the actual investigation. You could hear it in the woods. It was like shuffling around, but it smelled. It had this horrible smell of like a diesel, weird, drawn out, musky type of. Ugh.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's different.
my friend Pete brought his pistol. He had a 22, and I'm like, "What are you gonna do with that?"
Irritate the
Take a
bear.
guess.
I fire it off,
You're-
maybe make it run away. You know what I
Take
mean?
a guess.
22.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Joshua reiterates it's people that died in the Ozarks who would come into there into camp.
That's crazy. That's cool.
My grandfather's when he was hunting in the woods up in northern Canada, my grandparents owned a large island on a huge lake. Parts of this lake were deemed bottomless. Like Jacques Cousteau's crew had gone out and they couldn't pick up parts of it on sonar at the time. Not sure. I mean, obviously technology is considerably advanced now, but his brother passed while he was there because my grandfather would leave for a month or two. My grandmother was 6 kids. Nice. But anyway, his brother passed away. And when he came home, my grandmother was trying to explain to him, well, something happened while you were gone. He goes, oh, I know. I know he came to say goodbye before he left. And my family's got weird stories like that, like all over the place, just bizarre. The dead are always visiting the living, family members and such. That's kind of how I got broken in as a child, just seeing deceased family members at family functions or holidays and, coming by and just and communicating. And then my relatives would just show me pictures and, try to test me. Who'd you see, So I was pretty encouraged as a child, but it's just like, and that also includes weird supernatural beings. My family's always for ages and ages been seeing weird things.
Like that weird thing. Wow, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's Siri turning my phone on again.
Yeah.
Joe, I just sent you a picture of that bear to your email. You can show everybody.
Whatever, man. There ain't nothing coming in my emails.
Jojo Man.
They
Question in the chat: how old can a ghost be?
I
Oh,
guess
wow.
endless.
That's a
Depends
good.
on the ghost. Yeah.
I
When they
think
die.
they're limited, actually.
You think?
Yeah.
I know some really old places that have nothing going on, and you would think that these old castles would have everything going on, but like nothing. And I think that a lot of it's pretty recent history, maybe a few hundred years. I mean, nothing lasts forever. I
Well, they
mean,
can if it's energy. Does
Yeah.
yeah, but
energy dissipate at any time, or does it amplify? What does
it
it do
depends on the
exactly?
transition, right? I mean, since
Mhm. Yeah. So
we're not
I
really
think,
supposed to be in this world anyway, technically speaking. But
yeah.
that's a philosophical question.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Michael. It'd be kind of hard to tell how old they are.
Oh,
Maybe if you look, like we have a Bushy Run battlefield up here in Pennsylvania, where I live by, and that was what, in the 1770s or something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I've heard of some Egyptian stuff being haunted, and I've heard of some Roman stuff being
I
haunted.
Well,
saw an
we're not far from each
Egyptian.
That's
other.
at least two,
I mean,
three
I was in
thousand
the
years.
Great Pyramid and saw an Egyptian man
I'm in the Finger
from,
Lakes, so
I
sure, we're
mean,
not far
totally
from each other.
dressed like back in, and I went, "Do you know you're dead?" Trying to do the service. "Do you know you're dead?" And you go, "You know what I got? You're dead."
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, maybe it's all reversed. And I walk out of there questioning everything.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think they can last a really freaking long time.
Well, well, they probably can last as long as the original thought of mankind. So if you go back more than 15 or 25,000 years when we were still, or maybe 50,000 when we were still cavemen, it might be a little different. Because I've never heard of a caveman cave being haunted. I've seen some really crazy art in it, look like alien stuff,
Yeah,
but
but
I've
have
never.
you been in some of the areas where they would have resided?
Yeah, I've been in a couple of. I've been in one cave that's 55,000 years old. You don't feel
Oh,
anything in it.
Damn.
You do see some crazy shit, and you can tell a lot of people lived there. But you know what? Nobody might not have died there. They may have a different way they handle their dead. So we weren't there to know for sure. But I've been in a couple places that I don't feel anything, and I've been in a couple places that are pretty old that I feel. So it's weird. Maybe somebody drags them out at one point or another. But I think it probably is a limit to our original thought, though, because before that we wouldn't even understand haunting anything. So
Mhm.
uh, you would have just followed the light because it was just a bright light to follow back in the day when you
Well,
died.
because we notice it. Some people just don't notice it. They're not sensitive,
That's true too.
and then or they don't want to deal with it, or they just think it's a figment of their imagination or something.
But you don't hear like in Europe or in England about Neanderthals running around or cavemen running around. It's just not something you hear about. You
well,
hear
that
about a lot of
that
other
you
stuff.
know of. You
Well,
don't
no,
know that
I
it
know a lot of
doesn't
damn
mention
paranormal
some.
investigators, and none of them have been brought it up yet. So
No, man,
I'm
I'm going to
assuming.
drop a bomb on you right now. All
Uh-oh.
right. When I was first getting into the whole paranormal thing, I was, I don't know. I was just getting into it, like I had experiences like a lot of people, but I was more interested in kind of finding out for myself what the deal was anyway. So I started immersing myself in the culture, right? And then on Halloween, there was a show in England. I remember the guy's name. He was an older guy, and he had a group, right? And you probably have seen the show before. And they would go to different places around London or whatever in the UK, doing these really cool sites. So he did a Halloween show, and they did the London Bridge, right, which used to be a place where, I mean, a lot of dead bodies have gone through the London Bridge. During the war, they had barges of the bodies. They would process them down below. So they went in there, right, and then this guy's like being like Mr. Medium, talking to whatever's there, and he goes into this thing where he was like being occupied, possessed, whatever you want to call it, man.
Okay, we
And
know what
when
show
that
you're talking.
happened, all right, so I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there at my computer, right? And in my kitchen, there was a metal broom that was lying against the wall by my sink in an area where it could possibly have fallen over, not ever in its life. So I'm on the computer, and so it's a live show, and then people are online too, sharing experiences and whatever. The broom got thrown to the floor like with velocity, like someone picked it up and went
Hmm.
boom, and I was like, what the heck? Not only did that happen to me, but hundreds of people were saying that some occurrence happened in their home at that moment in time. So, do you think? I mean, think about energy doesn't have any limitations, especially in the quantum energy field. No limitations, especially for distance, right? Do you think an episode could happen, and because I was witnessing it, that energy flowed through, and it caused something to happen for me and a whole bunch of other people?
I
How's that?
I believe it only because of one thing, with a magnitude of mindset. Okay, think tulpas, Slender Man. Slender Man is a tulpa. He's a thought form from people from an online freaking gaming site, an online site, and they all started giving this thing characteristics and personality, and before you know it, there were sightings of Slender Man
Okay.
all over the freaking place. That's a tulpa. So why couldn't it happen the way it happened to you, Michael? Mindset, mass mindset, focusing on what's going on.
You know what's funny
projecting
when I talk to
energy.
people about paranormal events, the first question I say is, "How did it make you feel?"
Mm,
Because it's ever without a feeling. And whether you're capturing EVPs, you're doing an investigation, you're communicating. I mean, we had a ball roll towards us and we asked it to happen, and that's unbelievable, man. Because you know that you are communicating with something that is it's like I describe it like this: like when we go in, we build a bridge, and then and it actually takes a few days to get over it too. You know, it's not something that leaves you so easily when you do these investigations. You know,
mm,
so I mean, there's people that walk around buildings with chewing gum with their hands in their pockets, but when you really immerse yourself in it and you absorb that energy, that emotion, and especially the time and the time frame and what's happened there, it's like wow, and you walk away from it different, bigger and different.
mhm,
And you start getting into the stories. I mean, it's the past, but it's also the present, and it's also the future. I mean, this was us too at one time. We are spiritual energy, and here we are in this form, and then moving forward and going to another place. I
mhm.
mean, think about it. It's a cool concept,
It is a very cool concept.
but
Um,
that stands out in my mind. That multiple type of thing all at once. So I was like, wow.
yeah, and it's like that
But it's
tulpa
energy
effect.
and it's information.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
And
Joe.
if you look at mathematics, it makes perfect sense.
yeah.
Joe, there's a question from Joshua,
What's up?
and he wants what happens when an ET runs into the Fae?
No, he puts him in a bottle and uses it to light up his room.
How do
Um,
we know they're not one and the same?
That's the problem. You know, the whole
E.T.
problem
and
is
Faye could be a
I
branch of
would
E.T.
imagine ET is directly responsible for many of our legends from the past, from the short people, especially the ones on the Scottish Isle. I would bet a lot of them or that way, because something I learned, and I shouldn't even share this, but something I learned early on. So a lot of people have like spirit animals and spirit guides and stuff like that. So
Totems. Yeah.
totem.
we found out that ET will sometimes, because they stay in all their contactees' heads. So sometimes they'll appear as that like an Indian guide or a lion guide or a dragon, and we found it out through hypnosis, and then we did the questionnaire thing where we asked 100 different contactees to ask their people who's taken them if it's true or not, and it seems to be quite true. So now I'm not even sure when someone tells me you have a spirit guide that it's not an extraterrestrial. So the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, what blood type are you? Do you have these kind of dreams? Do you feel disconnected from this and connected to that? And they're like, why? I said, because it's a good chance that it's not what you think it is. And that's the problem with all this. A lot of stuff has probably been programmed into our mind along the way for us to react. Even our government do it. Our government programs us all the time to respond certain ways. The problem is right now, they thought we were going to follow like this on COVID, and the whole world said, yeah, F you, buddy. We got a different plan than you got. So when you have that kind of rebellion, anything can happen. And I really think a lot of this stuff that people think is just their guides is going to turn out to be ET. I guarantee you on the deep hypnosis, they'll actually see what it is. So it does make a difference, especially when you're taking advice when you think it's a spiritual guide and it turns out to be an extraterrestrial. Now, I don't know which one will be giving you better advice anyway. A million-year-old ET might be giving you better advice than a spiritual guide, but I don't really know that.
What
So
difference does it make? It's just a name. Then at
it
that
is.
point, you're still
It is
talking
just name.
about an energy that you respect, right?
It is
Right.
still that. Yeah, you still. That's what I always tell people. I said, just because you found out it's ET doesn't really change anything. I said, let
No.
me ask you this. I said, was the advice that you were getting in the beginning good? And they're like, well, yes. I said, well, then that's the thing. I mean, why question it just because it turns out to be something different? Because a lot of things are going to turn out to be extraterrestrial, unfortunately for us. A lot of our religious beliefs, a lot of things that were in our upbringing that we were taught to fear or be scared of, it's going to turn out to be ET. And they have to come to us in different ways because we're not ready as a society. We're just not ready to accept them yet. I am. Other people are, but a lot of people aren't. There's more that aren't than are.
I don't know. I think that if I was an alien, I'd be afraid of you raising your gun up, wanting to shoot everybody all the time, man. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
Actually, Bob DeGray is quite
this
familiar with
guy's
Martha,
violent.
Martha the
He's
Nine
gonna shoot
Millimeter.
me between my little alien beady eyes and take my ship and take off.
Unfortunately, guns don't
I'm gonna
fire in
be
their
ET
ships.
afraid of Martha.
They have some kind of, and
Phone home.
I've heard other people. I
They're
had never.
violent. Get me out of here.
I've never tried it myself, but I've heard several people that had guns on them when it happened say that they have the ability to keep your gun from combusting, just like they have the ability to keep your engines from combusting.
What about a katana? They got the ability to stop that.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably just look into your head and say, "Stab
I got a
yourself."
katana in the car, man. I don't whip out no gun. I whip out a katana.
I got
You
several
know what?
katanas, but
Anybody can face someone with a gun. You got some 6'5" guy with a katana. They just run the other way, man.
the gray would
You're
say,
crazy
the
enough to
gray
whip
would
out.
just
That's
he
like
would
whipping
just
out a straight razor and be
the
like,
gray would just look at you and say, "Drop the knife, go to sleep," and you'd just be floating there asleep in the
people,
highway.
the people who carry bricks in their cars just to throw them at other people, man. Those are the ones you stay away from.
Well, I
I
watch them
think
grow
they
up.
should be afraid of coming here.
No
Well,
good.
they probably would have been if we would be more advanced, but we don't even see them most of the time. That's a problem. If you haven't been taken, you're not going to see them. If you're not a contacted abducted, you're not going to see them moving. You're not going to see UFOs, and you're not going to see them. And I've proved this over and over and over. In major cities where there's been major sightings, only like in Mexico City, 24 million people, only a million people seen it. Somebody said, "Well, only a million." I said, "There's 24 million people there. It's hanging out for 24 hours. Somebody else should have seen it besides them." Even though the mayor seen it, the police chief seen it, a bunch of religious people seen it, everybody came out and saw it. There was video of it, but still,
Okay,
the other 23 million did not see it.
let's just look at this theory then, as we're talking about these, what we're calling supernatural beings, but obviously they could be cryptids left over
They could be
prehistoric
white
times, or
trash
maybe
from
they're ET.
Mars.
Do you
You
know how many
don't
people
know
think?
if they're developed, man. You don't know what they are.
Do you know how many people are who actually believe that, let's say, let's use Bigfoot for argument's sake, since it seems to be one of the most popular ones, like all over the world, are actually a type of extraterrestrial being. I personally think they're interdimensional. I think
Mm.
because they disappear just like this, like Nessie, gone. I think they just slip in and out of
Well,
dimensions.
that don't mean they're interdimensional. That just means they have some type of
Well,
either.
ability to open and close portals.
Yeah,
Come
They're
on, but
going
they
they would
have
have
somewhere.
faster than
if
light
they had some kind
technology.
of level of being, they would have some kind of level of
Well, sh-
hygiene. You think there'd be some hygiene going on there?
Well,
they're going somewhere.
I mean, think
I
about it.
lost out. You lost me
All,
on that one somehow.
Dinky,
Go
all the
ahead,
dinky
John.
Bigfoot
Bigfoot.
sightings, that people saw, if you look at it, there's a lot of UFO activity going on in the same place where they had been sighted.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Well, some people say they're sensitive because there's a lot of dolphin sightings too around UFO craft. So
Yeah.
some people just say certain animals are sensitive when they're around; and they can see them faster. Some
Okay,
people,
but
but a lot of
dolphins.
people think dolphins are more advanced than we are. So it's all
Yeah.
in what you believe there.
Do you remember when we did the Gray Zone? We did a segment on dolphins, and even Carl Sagan, when they not just SETI, but they have the Order of the Dolphin. He and other scientists created an organization called the Order of the Dolphin because they believe that dolphins can help them in science to communicate with extraterrestrials.
Well, the Dolphin Society found that the dolphins have a larger language than we do. Their brain is almost 18% our size of our brain. They have
Mhm.
two additional senses that we do, which can make them right off the bat tell. Having sonar is like having telepathy when you're
Yeah, and they
floating through
don't
the
pay
ocean.
rent, so they're already smarter than us.
Yeah, they
And
don't pay rent.
and there are cases of UFOs abducting dolphins. They had something like there were 5 out of 8 that were abducted right out of an aquarium in the United States. Was it?
Maybe they
I
eat
think
them.
in the middle of the freaking day.
Really?
Oh,
I never heard
God,
that.
in front of people watching a show.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I never
That's
heard
it.
that one
God.
before.
Yeah. So what
Well,
is it about dolphins
there's lots
exactly?
of witnesses of people, especially with the Greys, who said they'll see a ship hovering over the water, especially in the Gulf. We hear them all the time. They're just hanging out. The dolphins are all in a big group chirping at them from underneath, and the Greys are on the top. They're talking to each other. They understand each other. And a lot of times, a lot of people describe the Greys' voice like a dolphin. They say when they actually use a voice, it sounds like a dolphin out of the water. So
It's true. They
Maybe
have
they're
this
just
chirpy
kinky.
thing.
I
We
don't know
got
what
that
they
on
are.
recording.
Maybe they
We do.
are descendants of them originals. But I mean, dolphins
Well, you
do
got
have.
to think, what's your daily life if you're an ET? You know what I mean? Every creature needs some kind of thing that they do. You know, I mean, come on, what do
There's
they
no
do?
doubt that there's a lot of things that they do.
I
Well,
mean,
what do
yeah, I
they
was gonna say
you
do?
obviously
know,
there's a lot of
I
things
mean,
they're
what? I
doing.
mean, how many things can you learn truly about the universe? Sure, but what do you do? You know what I mean?
What do you
Like
do?
everybody, even a cat wakes up every day. It's got
It
to do
sounds it's like a
stuff.
Pinky in the
It's
Brain episode.
got to eat. It's
Okay,
got to
Pinky.
poop. It's got to
Today we're going to
play with
take
some
over the
yarn.
world. I'll be the brain because I could figure it out.
But what do they do?
Just saying.
What do you
And they're
think they
spending their
do,
time.
Michael? What do you
If they're
think they
spending
do?
their time monitoring us, then they're as stupid and pathetic as we are. You know what I mean? With our zoos
Maybe
Well,
we're just a zoo planet.
and
well,
whatever.
All
my
of
But
big
these
I like
strange
Admiral Byrd.
beings.
I like going back to the story of the story of the center of the earth, which was the master. And Byrd went back to Washington D.C. with a message from this master, and this guy had it all. The silver discs and destroying his fleet and all the soldiers that got killed or maimed or whatever. That's the real deal right there, man. You know.
I don't know. There's something going on that we don't understand. That's for sure. Though.
I mean, it's recorded history. The newspapers in Chile and Argentina were receiving these soldiers, so they would go to the hospitals and they were interviewing them, saying, "What did you see? And what happened?" And they weren't told to shut up yet. And they were like, "These silver discs came out of nowhere. They destroyed our planes, our fleets. Our planes flew into like they said they some kind of force field. You just hit something dead in the sky. They destroy themselves in the sky." That's cool. And then Bird went back with a message from the master. So there's way more than meets the eye. With
Oh,
this,
there is. It's all different perceptions. Some people like Captain Rabbit, hey, like the handle, or they're cattle. It's a farm. Josh says they're grazer or the police. And Josh, if you can learn how to remote view, you could probably create a
what's
portal
what's the
very
purpose?
inexpensively.
Josh
What's
is
the
actually
purpose?
right. He did
Unless
a
you're talking
collect.
about evolvement, are humans better off
Well,
now
no.
than they were 100 years ago,
Well, of
Hmm.
course
or
we are.
100 years before that?
Yeah, we are as far as technology goes, as far as our mental
Some
abilities.
people walk around with loincloths.
Well, that's because they want to.
And when you look at ancient civilizations, let me tell you, man, I'm studying this Caco Canyon in New Mexico. It was built for UFOs, man. It was built for the receiving of those ships. Look at those buildings; they're round. They have all these little windows around.
Well, they're
You
not the
know,
only place.
this was a place where all the Indian. It started off right. These Native Americans they had a song in their head. They said, and then they were drawn to these ant people. The ant people took them away, maybe underground, maybe not, while this cataclysm happened, because New Mexico and that whole area was all green and plush at one time. Then whatever had happened, whatever shift had happened, this is what the deal was. They taught them how to live in those surroundings. But Caco Canyon became a meeting place afterwards of all the nations. So you had your Navajo, you had the Hopi Indian, all these people coming together there. Look at those buildings on Google Earth, or look at them, just type in Caco Canyon and tell me those buildings were not made to receive those ships, man. And India's got the same type of stuff. Egypt has the same type of stuff. So come on. So those are the roots, but people just don't want to look at it, or acknowledge it. We
Because people
acknowledge
can't
it.
understand why at one point they were open amongst our societies and now they're not. And nobody can understand why, because they weren't really, when I brought this up at a lecture one time, they're like, well, they were open amongst the societies. I said, not really. They were open amongst the royal societies, but not the everyday street man. That's not who they were open to. They were just open to the royals themselves because they were up there giving advice or whatever. And then you got to look at the Egyptians. I mean, the way the
25
Egyptians' head was, their abilities. A lot of people seem to think they're ancestors of human aliens, especially a lot of the emperors, because they just look like what the people
25
describe.
miles north of Caco, you've got Aztec developments there. So there's a connection. There's a huge connection between all these groups. But I think that's interesting. When I go out there, I'm going to really get into it,
Well, I would venture to say on
man.
our planet there was
And
probably a
what's really
dozen
interesting
random
about the
spots.
whole area too? There's a lot of uranium. There's a lot of uranium mines, and a huge amount of uranium that they mine from those areas, especially Shipley. Shiprock, and Shiprock's where the Skinwalkers are seen. That's where that whole big deal is, right? That's all Navajo territory up there, and there's a big rock coming out of the ground. It's actually the butt plug of a volcano, and that was like the remnants of it. It was much taller than a lot of it had collapsed, but that's just west of there. There's a huge uranium mine. You know, just interesting stuff.
Hmm.
There's a lot to look at around our planet. There's a lot of things our planet suggests we've been being visited since we started walking upright.
And the Americans will tell you that.
Hmm.
And well, the Middle Easterns will tell you that. These South Americans will tell you that all day long. Shit, the Toltecs and Mayans, Aztecs, and Indians have been telling you that they've been being visited for aliens forever. The Mormons will tell you that.
The Mormons.
Yeah, the Mormons will
Joseph.
tell you
What
that.
does Joseph Smith know about
I'm
aliens?
just saying they believe in aliens. They believe there's an alien
They
world out there.
believe in
They believe
uh,
that we did not come from here, and God is
marrying your
not who
cousin.
put us here. That's what they believe. They don't believe. They don't believe that God actually put man on
You know,
Earth.
whenever I meet a Mormon, I ask them if they wear the protective underwear, and they always make this face like they just pooped in their pants. Because my next question is obviously, do you really believe that if
But
you
you know,
die, your private parts are going to live on?
Oh my god.
I
Oh,
love saying that to Mormons, man. I love it.
oh my god.
That's what they say about
I
their
said
right,
another one
protective
of those
underwear.
things. I'm
That
going to
if
leave
they
some
alone.
Mormons
die,
doing some ritual on Michael as we speak.
I'm not going to touch it.
For a special place in hell. I can see it coming. They're
Yeah.
chanting some Mormon thing out there. But
if I go to hell, all those preachers are going to be down there too.
right now
You know
on
what I mean?
Earth, you've got at least 6 major religions that believe in that we didn't come from this planet, that we're not from here. And two of them were under big money, man. I mean, like the Scientologists, just big money backing them.
Sheep.
And they definitely do not believe we came here. A lot more people are starting to believe that we may have been placed here or somehow got here from another planet. It's looking more and more every day like Earth may not have been originally seeded. And then there's the other problem when you listen to scientists, when you listen to DNA people talk about this. So roughly, there's been about 800 million years of evolution on our planet. There's been 5 great extinctions, 6 technically, but each one of those extinctions lasted roughly about 250 million years before one happened. So scientists agree that if a man evolved in less than 60 million years, then it's almost impossible that intelligent life didn't evolve in those other times when extinction went. So as far as we know, we got ancestors, original ancestors from this planet living in space and other places we don't even know. They might be some bitches visiting us, the first incarnations of our planet. Doesn't mean everybody's going to look the same. I mean, everybody agreed that the raptors would eventually evolve into intelligent life. So the smaller raptors, they definitely believe are intelligent. And there's actually Harvard's even got a thing where they bring them forward, and they look a lot like a gray. Matter of fact, I don't think that's what they are, but they look a lot like them. So they're just showing that with long enough evolution, that anything on this planet could evolve into intelligent life, and we just don't know if it's here or not. And we still don't even know if Mars really has life or not. We argue all the time, oh, Mars got life. Well, we don't think there's no life on the surface that we can see. We know we're going to find some type of microbiology, microbial life, and we may even find some small plants and some small animals. But is that all we're going to find, or is there an underground system on Mars? We just don't know. We're not going. Shit, we won't even put a base on the moon, which we should have had a decade ago.
How
Now
do you
all of
know
a
there's not a
sudden,
base on the moon already?
well,
Exactly.
Right,
there could be
Michael? Right
military,
now, right there.
but it couldn't be on our
Right.
side of the moon. It has to be on the dark side of the moon because we could
Of
see it.
course, because we can't see it.
Anything on the surface of the moon right now would reflect. So
There's
see
too
it.
many
That's
military
simple.
people who have talked about experiences there. There's been astronauts who talked about experiences on the moon that were sort of kept hush hush. There have been people who have been abducted who have gone to the moon and come back and have basically been regressed and said, I was on a base on the moon.
Yeah, but
In
somebody should have asked
ET's
them which
world, it
moon.
was probably a huge headline. The monkeys made it to the moon. I mean, that's huge, man. They're probably laughing their asses off. Their little gray asses. Like, look at the monkeys. Look what they're doing now.
We see that's the thing. Only some of us are related to the monkeys, not all of us.
Right. Speak for your dang self,
That's
Michael.
right. Now remember, if you're RH negative, you don't share no stinking genes with the
Exactly.
monkey.
I don't have those stinking
Only the
monkey
RH
genes.
positive and RH negative is slowly but surely taking over the planet a little bit at a
That's
time,
it.
a little bit at a time.
Those
Makes
are
me
the O
grateful for
negative,
my
right?
negative blood
Huh?
type.
I'm
Sorry,
O
Sean.
negative. I'm O
Yes,
negative.
yes, see, if you're
There
RH,
we go.
if you're RH negative, you don't
I have
share
no
that
idea what my
2%
blood
with
type
Reese's.
is. I tried getting it. They told me the
Oh no,
test
you
was
do a lot of scratching. I'm thinking
$1,000.
you positive, man.
$1,000.
No,
What?
Dina.
That's
Yeah, that's what they wanted.
insane.
They said go to the Red Cross and they do it for free. They prick your finger. But
Yeah.
who has time for that, man? I don't have time for that.
I don't know. It's $1,000. I'd make time.
Yeah.
I'm
They gave
I
me
knew
definitely O
mine
one.
since I was
negative.
in the service. Yeah, I knew mine since I was in the
No,
service.
they want
I'm
you to
negative.
give blood. They don't want my
Michael's
blood.
outnumbered.
See, Mike, that might be what's wrong, man. You might have the monkey genes. It might be what's holding you back, dude.
I'm into
Yeah.
monkey kung fu. Come on,
I'm
man.
saying you might have some monkey genes up in there.
We're all
It's
breathing the same air, Joe.
RH negative people breathing different air because
Well,
they
this
filter
monkey
in
doesn't
different
threaten
ways.
people in traffic with my gun. So I think that this monkey's a little different.
It's the new world order, man. That's where we are now. The new world
I don't
order.
throw bananas at people. I
The,
eat
the,
them.
it's the new world order, man. They're taking over a little bit at a time. So I've been telling people, watch
I
your
like that
TVs.
banana liqueur.
Well, I've been telling people, watch your TVs and see how many people you see with blue and green eyes on television, or colored eyes other than brown. Everybody in mom, Jesus Christ, everybody is. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's my point. I said most of our politicians are too. I
I
said,
have blue eyes.
that's that mutation that comes from that Rh negative blood somewhere down your family line.
My eyes actually
It's pure
change color.
mutation. Yeah,
They
most of
change
them
color
do.
with my mood.
Most eyes will change to
Right now they're
slight different
bloodshot.
colors.
But mine aren't too different, and mine are like really blue sometimes, really, really blue, and then they come back and they're really green. You know what I mean? And it creeps me out
We're
because
all very special.
Mine
I mean,
change colors too.
That's that
they
Rh
change
negative
colors.
blood, man.
Yeah,
They
mine
change
change
colors.
colors. Mine do weird ass
So
things.
Sean,
Yeah,
you in Pittsburgh?
yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Hmm.
I don't know. For some reason I thought you were like in Virginia. Wow, Joe, why was I thinking that?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know, Michael. Why do you think half of the things you think?
I don't know.
I'm with Michelle on this
And I
now.
mean that with all due
I
respect,
have
of
to take
course.
You
it
know
like
why?
this.
Because I heard you say that you went through Maryland to get to Gettysburg, and then that's why I think.
Okay, yeah, we did. I go Route 68 through Maryland and back up into Pennsylvania. Don't have to pay the tolls.
Yeah, that's a good thing right there. Last time I was in New Jersey, it cost me like $40 to go 20 miles. I was like, what kind of freaking state am I in here, man?
Right. That's ridiculous.
I
I was
think
like,
it's like I'm looking at some of the comments and chat, and we're missing some questions. So Sunrays Homesteader, the TTSA is with the Mormon Church, or is it all, or is it with Scientology? And Josh says the higher ups in the Catholic Church don't believe we are from Earth.
well, no, because
I
they know we're
agree with
not.
that.
They know we're not already.
I agree with that. Then Sunrise says, I watched a document called The Loneliest Whale. I hope the aliens interject before we kill everything on the planet. We have so many
They've
species
already
right now
taken
that
some
have
off
been
the
gone
planet.
extinct. And it's really sad. I mean, it's just,
So my
If you
friend,
have,
yeah.
my
well,
friend
if,
who talks
yeah.
to aliens says the message is for you individually. So it's not like some government source that needs to reveal it. If you want to go talk or have the experience, you certainly can. You got to call to them, man, and they firmly believe in all of that. So if you want to have the experience, I think you can.
My problem is they never talk to anybody that can do any real change. I'm like, why would you talk to this moron when you could go talk to all the
People
freed
always want
members?
change, man. I want bills. I don't want change.
Change.
You know what I mean? I want
People don't know how
hundreds.
to handle change.
Yeah, a lot of
They
people don't know
don't.
how to channel the
They do
change.
not know how to handle it.
Well, yeah, they do. Look at people wearing masks. They're. I mean, like you think about the obedience. I described it the other day. This guy was laughing because Long Island, right? The most impatient people you'll ever meet on the face of the planet are Long Islanders. I'm one of them, But also, how obedient to sit in 4 hours of traffic to go 10 miles, See, so that's that duality. You're impatient, but yet you're obedient. But probably the obedience caused the
Sure, but you still have some really
patience,
aggressive
but you're
people
not
because of
directing it
it.
the right energy, man. You know what I
Obedient
did?
or
I
not,
moved
it
into the
makes them
country where
hostile.
there's no traffic. I
Like,
solved the problem.
I'm not obedient and I'm extremely
You live where
hostile in
there's no traffic.
traffic. I'm
Not
I'm
you,
like, get
horrible.
Michelle.
out of my way, people.
Not you,
If,
Michelle.
if
You're
I
an
had
angel.
superhuman powers, every freaking car on the road that got my way.
I said before, if I could buy Gatling guns, I'd be in prison for wiping out half the
Yeah,
interstate.
pet peeve, slow guy in the freaking passing lane. It's the same.
They've actually passed laws down here. Finally, if you're putting along in the pass lane, you're getting pulled over.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody flies down here, man. We're not like Utah and Texas, but we got a lot of open areas we can fly out between the swamps and between states. So we like to cruise,
Go watch
Yeah.
out for those
and
alligators.
the cops really don't mind. Yeah, you do actually, man. It's bad. I hit one night, tore a whole front of the right side of my car up, tore off part of the fender, screwed up the braking system. He's only about a 6 foot gate. What happened was a car in front of me hit him, and he was flipping. And there was no way I could get out of his way when he hit the ground. I just I heard you go all through my front wheel, man. I had to go hell all kind of cost me like $1,800. I had to work done for that damn thing.
I love your gator stories, man. To a New Yorker, it's endearing.
Yeah. Well, it's just weird down here,
We
man.
have rat stories. We got
You know, we got
almost guy
rats too.
jumped in
We
front
had
of a
them
car
BS rats down here.
story.
Did
We got
you
rats that'll eat the gators, man. It's
did you
crazy
see
now.
did you see that video on YouTube where they have a mouse eating a piece of pizza, drag that sucker in the subway?
It was a rat. It was a
Was that a
rattlesnake.
rat?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
drag a piece of pizza.
there's some big
Time.
rats there.
Yeah.
And he was hungry, man. No, you gotta feed it those things,
You ever see a
man.
water rat? Water rats are gigantic, man. I wouldn't. All right, there's this place called Island Park, right? And then there's a bunch of junkyards. My friend Kenny had a junkyard over there, so we used to meet there at night, go crazy, shoot guns and whatever. It was actually on the water, middle of nowhere, but like on Long Island. You know what I mean? I'm driving over this little bridge, and I see this big pile of crap like by a telephone pole, and then it started to move, and I'm like, man, and like my brain going finally, and what's happening? I got closer and closer. It was a huge pile of water rats eating something. They were like devouring something, man, and I was like, oh my! It was like probably 20 of them in there. Crazy, man. But yeah, they're like the size of large cats,
Oh man,
but
we got
fat.
we got them muskrats. They get like the size of a damn. Oh, they get huge. Just insane with some of the stuff we get down here.
Are they
But
rough
yeah,
down there, Joe? Muskrats?
yeah. We every now and then I put a bounty on them, and so everybody gets like $25 a piece for killing them. I actually got a bounty on deer right now. I got so many of them, it's ridiculous.
Really? You guys don't eat
Yeah,
it?
yeah. No, they don't hunt. The problem is growing up down here. Usually, young people learn how to hunt at a pretty young age, but only about half as many hunt now. And even a lot of old timers like we don't hunt anymore, so their populations are getting huge. And there's nothing like fresh deer meat, especially if it comes up from around JS Mississippi, where it's eating all that mushmelon and cantaloupe and stuff. It's really good eating stuff, and it's low in it's actually much better for you than cow is because it's low in cholesterol.
I love people's excuses when they try to tell you about eating deer. It's better for you. It's lower in this. It
Oh
tastes
man,
better.
look, you got to remember
I
like
had deer
this.
meatballs one time, and the person didn't tell me they were deer meatballs. They were fucking gross, man.
Oh, probably
Gross.
because they were soaked in vinegar. See, I don't know why the old
Yeah.
timers used to do that. They
Nah.
soak them in vinegar. You can't do that. You
We
ruin the
don't we
meat.
don't do that up
We
here.
don't either, man. We
Oh,
first time I ate them, I said, "What is this?" I said, "What's deer?" I said, "What did you soak it in?" I said, "Nasty." No, you can't soak them in venison. I mean, you
no.
can't soak them. But if you could, look, we killed one up in JS not too long ago. Within 45 minutes, we had the tenderloin in the frying pan with a little butter and garlic. It was fabulous.
Mhm.
Better than any filet mignon I've ever eaten. And the thing of it is, for hundreds of years, well, actually for thousands of years, that was our diet. That's why the natives were healthier than us because they didn't eat old nasty cows. They ate deer. But now we deer and buffalo, which is also less cholesterol than
The
deer.
natives I know eat like corn and
They eat beef, buddy.
chicken.
Trust me, they eat buffalo and they eat deer.
I
That's
mean,
pretty.
up here, our hunters and hunting's really big up there in Pennsylvania, and they put pork in with their deer meat.
Yeah, you
Sun
can make it.
season now, man. I saw a bunch of people out today.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's
I
not
hate
really.
it
It
because
fills up that
the
wild taste.
let me tell you the energy though that comes off of that is a terrible energy, man. And if you're empathic, you feel it like if
True.
someone turned on a faucet, and how these animals are freaked out, and people are coming into their habitat and just destroying everything that they know. You gotta look at it from their point of view. But terrible time of year, it really is for me anyway. That's how I feel when I'm
I
receiving
mean,
the energy.
the deer up here are smart, especially during buck season up here. Man, they know how to hide.
Yeah,
I saw one
they're
buck.
plentiful though.
I saw one buck surrounded by 20 doe during buck season.
I was
You
in a
know,
pizza parlor. There was over 100 though
and if you,
stacked.
I'm gonna give y'all a secret for killing deer or elk. I shouldn't give y'all that. So you take a
You gonna whip
55
out
gallon.
Martha again?
No, you don't need Martha for this. You take out a 55-gallon drum, you cut it in half, you bury it to the edge where the food is sitting at the edge. You put a salt block out there too because they love them salt licks. You put it out there. So what happens is the buck can't get the food because when his antler hits the ground, his mouth can't reach the food. So the doe has to scratch out the food. So the buck's always standing tall, so you always get a clean shot at him. It's something the old timers taught me a long time ago. It's an easy way to kill a buck, and and if you're not happen to be there, then the doe's getting food out for the buck. He's getting free food, or if not, he gets his ass shot. One or the other. But it keeps the does from getting killed because their heads are down. Because we do have a doe season down here too, but it's only one day. And or if you hunt them with a crossbow, you can hunt them for 3 days. But still, I mean, not a crossbow, but a regular compound bow. But still, man, it's an easy way to kill them. It's an easy way, and they'll get used to coming in and getting their salt lick, and they do it all year round. And then boom, hunting season starts, and there's that buck with his 12 points just waving in the air, and you just take that rifle and one shot, clean shot. It's more humane for the animals. It's easier for you, and it's less you have to clean up when you shoot them. Yes, I used to hunt a lot, people. I just don't anymore. I haven't hunted since
You
I was
just
in
Do
my
you
need to
miss it, Joe?
introduce some
Do you
kind of
miss it?
Huh?
spermicide
Do
into
you
the
miss hunting?
I do sometimes. I don't so much miss hunting as much as I miss being out in the woods or being out on the water. I do miss being out in the deep woods, being out in the woods. Sometimes we'd walk back 4 or 5 miles in the woods. Matter of fact, I'm sitting out there one day and fell asleep, and I felt something hit me on the head. Well, Mr. Squirrel decided he wanted to use the bathroom right there. So, oh, that's how this is going to be, right? So, at about 4:10, he comes walking, I'm watching. I said, do I want to shoot this little bastard? Because I wasn't out there shooting squirrels. I was thinking, do I want to shoot this little shit or not? Because he aggravated me. So I let him go there because I was waiting on a deer to come by. And sure, like 30 minutes later, here comes a big old buck walking through there. And we'd be sitting on the ground. Sometimes they wouldn't even see you. Just walk right on past. And by the time they even
maybe the
realized you were there,
squirrel
they was
wanted
there.
to die, so it shit on your head because it saw you
I'm
had a
thinking.
gun,
I think he was wanting
and you're
to,
like,
but I wouldn't
"This
have got
guy's
that
gonna
big
shoot
buck.
me
So
if I shit on his head."
yeah, I got a 10 point buck that day. So
Is
I
the squirrel
let
shit
him
like
die.
little pebbles?
Yeah, looks like
So,
little.
can we say that deer are supernatural beings?
In some ways, they are because they know when you're there a lot of times. If you're a rookie hunter, they can smell you miles away. They can hear you miles away. You really got to know your shit if you're
I
gonna kill a
think the
deer.
deer are going to be the next version of humans after humans annihilate each other.
I've seen him. I've seen him do stuff like I've seen him kick people before. One guy thought he killed a deer. Went over there, deer kicked the living. I almost killed a deer. I know he cracked a couple of ribs, cracked a chest bone. Deer kicked the hell out of him. He wasn't quite dead yet, so you got to be careful with that. And you can always get hooked. You can always get horned. I've seen guys get horned out there. I
Well, you
always
know
make
what?
sure he's
I
dead.
couldn't shoot Bambi. I couldn't kill a deer. I
Oh, I
could
could
not.
shoot Bambi in a heartbeat, man. I
I'm not a
could.
Not me.
hunter, man. I couldn't do it.
No.
Say, and then see when I was eating my beautiful filet steak, y'all be starving to death. I mean, don't that smell good to y'all? Y'all be, oh, please, no, get away from my deer.
Hmm.
Oh man, it's man, look,
We'll just call you, Joe. You just drive into
oh,
another
now
cow.
you want to hear about being asses. This old lady told us one time she wanted she wanted to make blackbird pie. So me and three of my friends snuck up in this tree. There must have been 500 of these birds in there. All of us with birdshot 12 gauge. We just unleashed. I think 3 birds flew off that tree. We were out there with backsacks picking them all day long. And this woman cooked them all, every one of them. I was like, look at this woman go.
Hmm.
And we were actually quite good hunters when we were young. We hunted a lot because the old times would send us out there because they like to cook. Oh, go get this, go get that, go get this. Like quail. I got smart with the quail. I used to go hunting quail, and then I made a trap for them, just caged, and it was easier. It was easier to catch them that way. They weren't less stressed either. Uh, I shot 2 crows one day, and I was going to throw them in the thing for the animals to eat. And they're like, no, the old time. Oh, we cooked them crows up on a barbecue. I'm like, what?
Why would you shoot a crow?
Because crows are pains
Yeah,
in
well,
the
What's wrong
asses.
with you?
Go ahead,
Oh,
Michelle.
don't tell me you were going to eat it.
They ate it. I didn't eat it. Nah, and I'll eat quail all day long. But
Oh,
I was
God.
like, them 2 crows thought they were slick back there. They've been back
Oh,
there for
man.
days eating
You
shit.
don't
tearing
shoot
shit
the
up.
messengers of the dead, Joe.
I
Yeah,
snuck
Joe.
it there. Well, guess
What's
what? They were
wrong
sending
with
messages
that?
to the dig.
Hey, hey, Joe.
Hey,
Michelle was going to crawl from Canada down to where you're at.
oh
And some
man,
message.
let me tell you what.
Right?
It takes skill to shoot a crow. Crows can
She's
you
gonna
got to
have to
Show
drop
use
them
my,
the
miles away.
Underground
show
Railroad
my
if she wants to
totem.
come down here, man. We're gonna have an
Bastard.
No,
Underground
but they
Railroad
get
out of
back there in the soybean field and get the crowing and cracking and making all
Canada
kinds of
for
noise.
you
Man, them
guys.
motherfuckers.
Come down to freedom.
Wow.
But there's not much. There's not much we didn't shoot down here. In the old time,
It's
we did
clearly
everything.
not much you won't eat either.
So it's funny because we're out there one night. We out deer hunting. It's about
That's
just
an
about
ongoing
dusk.
joke.
I know there's just about dusk. We out there deer hunting, and Frank screaming. Well, actually, Jeff screaming. It's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot. Man, I grabbed my 30-06 off my back. Yeah, I said I can kill something with almost about 3/4 of a mile with this thing. So I'm looking. I said, what else Bigfoot? Because I'm taking him home with us. I said we're gonna be rich. And he's like, he said, you don't see. I'm looking. And I put the scope on a zoom. There's some guy walking through there. He had a bunch of branches on him, shit, trying to hide in the branch. I said, I walked. I said, dude, you almost got yourself shot. He said, what do you mean? I said, we didn't know what you look like Bigfoot does. You almost got shot, dude. I said, you're supposed to have some color so we know what you are, red. Because, most animals are colorblind. That's why you can wear bright oranges and yellows. They can't see them.
You can't catch Bigfoot. He's like the champion freaking hide and seek champion.
He's lucky I retired from hunting because I was going to get him.
Can't
I
find
was
him.
going to get me some. I was going to go down to the Serene River Valley and get me some big feet.
So yeah, so you go and you're hunting Bigfoot. You get one, you shoot him. He's dead. What are you going to do with him?
I'm going to pick
What's
up
it going to get you?
Yeah, Joe. What are you going to
Fil-
do with it? Dare I ask?
you fillet part of it. You
First, I'm
stuff
going to
the
take
rest
some
of it.
pictures of him and show everybody we got a Bigfoot. And then we're going to cook him up in some gumbo down here.
Yeah,
And,
Bigfoot gumbo. Hey man, that Bigfoot goes a long way.
That's
You
what I'm
feed a
saying.
whole
You
couple
feed,
blocks
man.
of
You
people,
feed a
man.
lot of families down here. It's funny because they got what we call
What kind of rice, Joe, with Bigfoot? What do you think?
a
Guys
little
are
wild rice,
nasty.
a
Just
little wild rice,
saying.
maybe wild pea leaf on the side. Maybe a little white sauce
Michelle's
with it.
face is getting really red there. I mean,
I know, right?
I
He
have not
knows.
seen so
Well,
much
He
grits.
anger from
knows.
this woman.
He knows.
What do you mean?
I would
She
have
goes
to
to
have
me.
grits
August.
with Bigfoot
Look,
brain in the morning, man. Bigfoot scrapple.
You're the first
Come on,
Canadians I
man.
met that don't hunt. All the
Are
Canadians I
you
know hunt.
kidding? We just don't eat weird shit is all.
How can you be? It's part of hunting, man. Kill something weird.
No, there's
We'd be
hunting
the
and then there's
humans.
just killing
We,
weird shit.
we're the,
You'll
we'd
be
be
up
the
there with some
humans in
couillons.
cryptozoology that eats everything. Eats aliens, eats Bigfoot, whatever you.
I'm not eating no
Chupacabra,
aliens.
woohoo!
Bigfoot might be
Oh my
good. You don't know,
gosh.
man. She might be tasty.
I
Hey,
want
I
that
have a question.
chupacabra stew.
I have a question for every one of y'all. If an alien just popped itself right in front of you, what would you do?
It's
I have a lot of
happened.
questions. I have a lot of
Well,
questions.
I'd
It's
French him.
happened. I just turned around. I rolled over, went back to sleep, and all I said was nope.
nope. Oh, you wouldn't shake its hand?
I'd grab him
No?
by his hand and give him
It
a big
was
old
in my
French kiss.
bedroom. I could it was right there, and I just
Oh,
went
wow.
nope. Went over, went back to sleep. I just wasn't having it.
Was it a gray? Was it a gray?
Yes, it was it was between 4 and 5 feet.
It's probably
Wow.
putting her back.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't, I'm perfectly comfortable with them because they do come around. They're around quite a bit. But at the end of the day, when they're lurking around, and they come into your bedroom at night, to me, that wigs me out because it's like a perpetrator. It's like you don't belong in my bedroom at night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I do keep part of the house really dark that we don't use. It's a really big house for them because apparently they don't like the fluorescence, the lights.
I would like to meet one. I really would.
They always
Just-
freeze the chihuahuas. Like, I guess they get
Chihuahuas
tired of
don't
yapping.
like that.
Yeah, chihuahuas are trying to gnaw on their little
They're
toes and
aggressive.
stuff.
All 3 pounds of them.
It's,
Grace probably.
But yeah, I had a friend of mine who she was telling me about a lot of her visitations when she kept taking. She said, I'm driving across New Mexico desert, and she falls asleep. She said, I'm pulling over inside the road because I couldn't keep my eyes open. And she said, I seen this big white disc coming down off in the distance. She said, oh shit, I just fell asleep. And she said, I remember calling my dog, and my dog jumped the seat and got in front and was laying across my lap and went to sleep with me. So the next thing I do, I wake up. My dog is underneath my bed, sound asleep. My car's parked in the driveway, and I'm wearing my pajamas. She said, now I can tell you where I was, and I can tell you I wasn't in no freaking pajamas. And she said, my damn dog is vicious, so I don't know what the hell happened. So she kept bugging me until I hypnotized her. I said, oh, man. I said, you're not going to like what you find. I can already tell you're not going to like what you find. Oh, come on. I said, fine, come on down. I hypnotized her. So she flies down. I hypnotized her. She finds out the whole experience. She was definitely take her. But she said she freaked out because she didn't realize they brought the dog on board the ship. She said, I was worried the whole time that you were going to tell me they left my dog in the car. But they actually brought my dog with me. Said the dog was unconscious the entire time, but they brought the dog with me. I said, well, that's not the first time I've heard that. And then she said, but why did they put me at home? I said, because they kept you for a while. They kept you for the time it would have took you to drive home. So they just dropped you off there like nothing happened. Because at first she wasn't going to say anything. She was just going to say, oh, it was just some weird dream when I drove home and I just forgot how I got home. But then she's a freak about keeping, mileage. Anybody who gets taken, we tell them all the time you should keep track of your mileage in your car and how much you spend on gas and stuff.
I hate it when girls say you're not gonna like what you find, especially like for foreplay, man.
Bro, that's just scary there now. That could be things that bite
You know what? Those are my younger days, man.
My younger days.
My younger
I don't know.
days.
Now I don't find anything.
That's just sad there, but we'll leave that alone.
No, actually, it's pretty not sad.
That's for another show there.
Yeah, yes. A
It's very
PG-17
not
show.
stressed.
I thought this was a family show.
I get to flirt with a special someone out there.
Carly's asking, what is our
Flirting's
scariest
the best,
supernatural thing you've ever seen? The scariest supernatural. What do you mean supernatural? Like Bigfoot, a demon, a ghost, an alien? I mean, clarify. or just a scary supernatural thing? I don't know what the scary supernatural thing. The big black thing would be for me. Whatever the hell it was the scariest thing I ever seen. I can't speak for anybody else, but that freaking thing is scary as I. Ghosts and demons don't really seem to scare me because they don't really seem to be interested in me. So they're usually after somebody else.
I I met a demon. I mean, he was like about 6, 7 foot tall. He was all red, and he stunk to high heaven, man. He was in my bedroom too, and it was like, oh my god, what are you doing here? And no, I whenever I go ghost hunting and I go clear out a demon out of the house or an angry ghost, whatever, they appear to me like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family.
No, that's weird.
No, it is weird. I mean, that's how I know which one's the demon. Now
You
that
should
makes
call
sense.
yourself that and get one of those light bulbs you can put in your mouth, man, like to see your way as you're doing your ghost hunting. That's all like really cool, gimmicky type of thing.
When I drank, I used to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. People do sometimes see things in familiar characters or stuff that makes them feel better. I mean, a lot of times when people tell me about alien abductions or alien experiences, they're talking about something they've seen on TV or something they've seen somewhere, a book they've read or something along those lines. And I said, well, that's good. We'll just stick with that. And they're like, well, I want to know the truth. I said, no, you don't. You never want to know the truth. I tell most contactees, ignorance is bliss. I mean, there's some things you just don't want to know. And
Bliss?
ignorance is truly is bliss.
Mean
Yeah.
bliss.
Bliss, man. Bliss to me is the same thing.
Tell us
But,
bisque. Isn't that the stuff you make pancakes with? That's
no.
bisque.
That's
Bisquick.
best. Yeah, that's best. It's a whole different thing. And then that, doesn't
Good
necessarily
old
make pancakes,
Bisquick.
but
I miss that stuff.
it is that like that way though, because once you let the hat, once you let it out the rabbit out the hat, you're screwed. There's no putting it back in.
Right. If you open the door, it's open, man.
Yeah, there's
That's
no way to get
exactly
it back.
right.
I mean, somebody asked me one time, well, they had this contact experience and we had revealed it, and they were like, well, you can't. I said, I can try to hypnotize you to take it, but I said we would really need some sodium amytal and some sodium pentothal mix, maybe about 8 cc's of each. I said that would make you susceptible enough to change your memories. I said, but just plain out changing them. I said, yeah, I could hypnotize and change it. I said, but any smell or sight or sound would set it back off, and it would be right back. I said, this way you could do it in the way, but I'm not a doctor, so I couldn't use that kind of stuff.
Just get some bourbon.
I wish. I wish Barry worked that well.
It's a crow.
It's a crow.
Damn crow. Where's my gun? God, you lucky my gun ain't in here. I'd be shooting that bitch right now.
The crows are offended.
The crow's a pretty bird, man.
Crows are nuisance, pain in the ass birds, is what they are.
Crows and
It's the-
ravens. I grew up around ravens.
Ravens are
They're
cool.
messengers
Crows are a
of the
pain in
dead.
the ass.
They bring
Crows-
messages from the other side. They're good
Crows are the
omens.
only
Guess
bird.
what? Some of them
Everybody
are not.
thinks they're bad omens. They're not at all.
Well, sometimes
The
when they
US
get
that
around
you
me,
can
they're
kill.
not bringing messages
Everything
to the
else
dead.
is illegal to kill migratory.
Michelle,
Yes.
are crows and ravens part Morgana's, like flock or something? Though a lot of crows and a lot of ravens, that's like her bird, her sign. that
Ravens
she's
are
around.
more
Yeah, ravens
independent.
are pretty independent.
Ravens are my birds. Crows are cool. Ravens are my birds.
And Michael interrupted you, so I didn't get the last end.
Okay.
I heard raven.
The ravens and the crows, right? Are they, when there are a lot of them around, is that Morgana hanging around checking you out too? Or seeing?
There's actually some folklore attached with that. I should actually dig it up and include it on a show sometime. They'll say sometimes, like if you see one, it means one thing, two means another thing, three means something else. If you have a murder of crows, which are several, or a murder of ravens, right? That's again, it's messages. Some people will, depending again on the folklore, or or the story, it could be that she's watching in on it. There's other stories that are associated to the Norse mythology, right, as well, with Odin. Like there's so much information on it, but I really do tend to lean to the fact that whenever I've gotten messages, they've been bird related. And I grew up with a lot of ravens on our property. And aside from the shiny things that they were always trying to steal, they were actually really well behaved. They're really clever. Crows are phenomenal talkers, which people don't realize that they talk really well. I mean, the best talking bird in the world is a myna bird. And it's just a black bird. But some people automatically associate them with death. It doesn't necessarily mean. Now, I won't say that because, I mean, there are some where they come just before somebody dies. But if, again, there's stories that link. If it gets in the house and sits on the edge of the bed, it means this. If it hovers over the
Okay.
roof for 3 days before, it means this. Like, you can really get into a whole wide variety of stuff when it comes to crows and ravens.
Huh. And then
Yeah.
they say Joe's name.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
see-
Joe.
Joe who?
Yes, Joe's
Yeah,
that
they
guy
scared me
with
'cause
that
they knows I might eat
stupid
'em.
thing he calls Martha.
They know they stay away from me because I might eat their asses. They know
Joe
better.
says crow fried rice.
But you
That's
know,
it.
Thank you, Miss Hill.
ravens. I like
You're
ravens.
welcome.
Crows are just irritating nuisance, and ravens are a more intelligent bird that can learn to speak quite easily. But you know,
But so
ravens
do
are.
crows. They
Yeah,
are
crows don't
talkers.
speak well. They can crow a lot, but they're not really
Oh, they
don't
can
learn
talk.
language. Yeah, but
They
they're
can
not. They,
talk. Hey, I met
ravens
a
pick
woman
it
who
up
taught a
easy.
freaking robin how to talk.
You
Okay.
know, ravens will pick it up easier than a parrot will. If you're in a house with them, they'll pick up everything you say pretty easily.
I've raised parrots. I've bred and raised parrots.
Yeah, I got friends of mine who got parrots. I almost shot one of them one morning. He started singing,
Of course
"I'm a
you
pepper,
freaking
you're a
did.
pepper."
Probably had a
No,
spit
some bitch.
ready for it
No,
too.
the little bitch starts singing, "I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Wouldn't you want to be a pepper?" And then he starts
That's
making pinball noise
awesome.
because his cage was by a pinball machine. So he starts ding ding. I was like, "What the hell?" I said, "Wade, you better get this freaking bird." I said, "Because it's fixing to be a dead
Hey,
bird,
I had an
man."
African gray that could like yell out he could sing the whole hockey game theme, and then
Yeah,
at the
this
end he'd
bird
yell
was, I
out
think he
"Charge!"
was 40. He was like
I
42
did not
years
teach him
old.
that. I
Yeah,
rescued him. He's so amusing.
I think he was 42. He pretty much knew the whole entire human alphabet. He any word he heard, he knew. So, but he's a good parrot. But the raven still talked better than he did.
But
Yeah,
ravens are
so
intelligent.
that's what was so funny. The parrot taught the raven how to speak because they had the parrot talked nonstop. This bird would never shut up. And so they had the raven in a cage right by, and after just a couple of weeks, the raven started mimicking the parrot. It was crazy.
They
And
do.
then the raven was catching on much faster than the parrot did. Even the parrot knew so much shit. It was incredible what that bird knew.
They're really, really smart. But so are crows. Crows are like super intelligent.
Crows
Super
are,
intelligent.
or for
Remember
cannon
that. The
fodder.
next time you're
And,
freaking
and
trying to
very tasty.
like peck off a crow, it's probably
Look,
cursing
crows.
you, knows
See,
exactly what it's
this
saying.
is why people hate crows. See, ravens come in pairs. Crows come in packs, and they'll come and eat a whole cornfield in a day. That's why they get their asses shot.
But so do ravens. Like we've had so
No,
many ravens on our
coming
property
two at
that
a
would nest in the
time.
trees. No, kid you not.
Yeah,
Kid
there's
you
only
not.
two at a time. Ravens don't come in big groups like crows do.
Yeah, ravens are different birds, man.
No, I don't know, man. We had about six or eight of them on our property.
Ravens soar.
You're-
Crows can't even
They
imagine.
would all
I mean,
nest
they're
in the
both.
big pine trees. We had real huge pine trees, and they all nested in there. And
Yeah.
you'd see them out in the backyard and up, just on because we had like
And they're
mountains
both predator
behind us.
birds too.
Hmm?
That's the other thing. They're both predator birds. They'll eat anything.
Well, for sure. Yeah, you can't kill them.
Crows
You can't
love to
kill them.
steal
It would be like
eggs out of
killing a
nests
bird
and
of prey.
stuff.
You can't kill them here in Canada.
They,
I imagine it's the same in the U.S.
Ravens soar. Not too many birds go up there and ride those heat waves
They're beautiful.
all the way up, man. They're not up there hunting. They're not up there doing anything else but having a good time. I love that.
Yeah, the chilling birds with messages.
They made for life, and yeah,
Stay away from Joe.
they have a huge
Exactly.
vocabulary.
They all know
Yeah.
what Joe is.
I wish you did, dumbasses.
Exactly.
Stay out of Mississippi.
Stay out everywhere. Well, see, that's the thing. Ravens prefer country areas. Crows like suburban areas. Stupid asses.
That's
And they
true.
like to get up. Matter of fact, I was out walking across the street. I got a poor little, not a mockingbird, a sparrow killed because I was walking across the street and the sparrow was trying to get away from the crow. And when I came, the sparrow was going to hit me, so it turned it back up and the crow caught it midair. Whoosh.
Oh,
was
I've
lunch.
seen them do that.
Yeah. Crows like to eat little birds. They like to eat
Yes,
eggs.
they will.
I
But
have
so
watched
will
mockingbirds.
blue
I've watched mockingbirds peck the living shit out of a crow until it finally leaves. I mean, they'll gang up on him and try to get him out of there.
Nothing better than sparrow stuffed crow chicken wings, man. Like
I was
wings,
thinking
You
thinking
starve if you
whale
try to eat
stuffed
sparrow.
Michelle,
crow.
take it easy, hon. You're
mango,
getting mad.
mango
I'm a bird
rice.
person. I'm ready to lose my freaking mind.
Yes. Couple of little
That's
crows.
some
right
good
there.
stuff, man.
Plus, you can make talons and little things out of their feet and their noses and stuff. Their beaks.
You
Like
think you know with
magical
it?
tools.
Is that what you think
Pens.
you're gonna do?
Yeah, you make
Really
little
good
wood stuff,
pens.
like a little. You can if you take two of them and put them together in time. You can make your own little stamp and stuff. You can move the fingers to make letters and stuff like that. Yeah, Indians used to do that.
Yeah.
I
They
don't know
were
what it was,
wild.
Josh, but it was scary, whatever the hell it was.
Do you know about
Uh,
Auburn, New York, and the crows? I mean, it's like a thing. And the whole city of Auburn didn't know what they would do because, like, crows would be everywhere, sidewalks, streets. I
to
mean,
be eaten by a
they
crow.
didn't know why they would be attracted to Auburn. The only thing that stands out there is the prison, you know.
Mm.
But
Well,
really weird. I mean, anytime you go through there, there's lots and lots of crows.
but wasn't it blackbirds and crows and what's his name's the birds?
Birds
Alfred
Alfred
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, the birds.
That's
Yeah,
what it looks like when you're
that was
driving
another wild
past.
second.
That's
A lot of them
scary,
hang
man.
around the prisons. They're up on the walls and whatever. It's kind of cool, kind of creepy type of thing.
Well, you'll watch the crows down here. They'll try to fight off the vultures to get to the food there's dead food on here. I don't know why vultures are way bigger than them, but
Yeah,
they
I've
still
been
want
to
to fight.
I've been to China buffet, man. Exactly the same.
No.
I don't even know how we're talking about all this. It's completely off
Because
topic.
We're
China buffet
talking about weird,
sells crow
strange things,
wings.
and then crows are
If you
all
want
through
crow
legend.
wings or crow's feet, you go to the China buffet.
But I mean, crows and ravens are part of the lore. I mean, they're part of
They
it.
are.
Yeah, they are.
They scare a lot of people.
That's true.
And,
Usually, though, we're not talking about them on a spit or something.
well,
It's just,
one of my little nieces used to have a thing about crows. She used to get scared. She said it was coming for her soul. I said, "Well, here, baby, take this, and next time a crow comes around, you just show whose soul's getting taken." She shot that bird. She ain't never been scared of a crow since. She's like, yeah, and she said, "I shot him. Daddy ran out there and cooked it." I was like, "Yeah, well, your daddy like it, them old time." See, I don't think crows taste good. I've tried; they're all meaty and tough, and like eating myself or something. They're just nasty.
I have a
But,
stuffed crow. I had a stuffed raven.
It's
It's like,
Well, I had a good friend of mine who was a taxidermist.
I mean, they are really important. You look at the Tower of London have ravens that reside there. And
it's funny. A good friend of mine who was a taxidermist built a mini Bigfoot. So they kept it in the bar where they used to always go drink. So it started out as just a leg and 2 legs and a body. I say a mini Bigfoot. It was about 6.5 foot tall, and it was hairy. It smelled like hell. They were they used all kind of pelts on. I'm like, did y'all think about washing these pelts before you use these damn things? Before y'all got in here, they stuff. He looked cool as hell. That, and then they had some people had the jackalope. Y'all ever seen a jackalope?
Yeah, I never saw one.
Yeah, they're not real, but people swear that they're real. And it's a rabbit with a like a unicorn horn through his head. They call him jackalope.
almost like a jackalope.
That's what it is. They call them jackalopes, but they're not real. They just
somebody
just made stuff
It's
when
just
they made
it's
it.
a
Like,
steampunk like
yeah,
taxidermy
and then
thing,
I love the sand trout. That one always cracks me up. Some lady was telling me about sand trout the other day. I was like, that's not real, right? Oh no, in Arizona they got sand trout. I said, baby, there's no trout living no sand. No, don't believe that shit. It doesn't go like that.
Sand trout.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, I was
There's
laughing.
something new for you.
Yeah, there's always
Yeah.
some weird ones out there. Some kind of weirdness. Hold on, I can't see that. Let me move this. I can only see this chat room over here. Hold on. The
Yeah, you're in your
scariest.
other imaginary chat room again.
Some of my babies. Don't make it. Wait. Don't go her. She don't
Read
understand.
mine. There's
She
shit going on there we have not been made privy
she
to.
don't understand, y'all. Denise said she can put a spell in your ass.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
It's don't do a bad one because then I got to listen to bitch about it. So just do an easy one. Yeah. No, it's this messenger is probably as old as this Facebook account is, and now thanks to all of y'all assholes, all my messengers go into one now. Used to be my Instagrams are on the same messenger, my phone's on the same messenger, and all three of
And
my
how
Facebook.
about everybody else to blame for that?
I'm not blaming y'all for it. Y'all bitch probably because you couldn't
Nobody
get on your
touches
business.
your freaking Instagram.
I liked it when it was. I
Nobody
liked it when it
touches
was
your freaking
separate.
Facebook.
Well, I liked it when it was separate because then if they were talking to me, it was on one account.
Yeah, but
See, now I don't even know what account they're coming from because they just yapping away.
yeah, I know, but it has nothing to do with the rest of us. We post
Yeah,
from
it's y'all's
here,
damn
and
fault.
it goes all over the other
It's
accounts.
y'all's damn fault. That's what I'm saying.
Whatever.
It is their fault. That's right. I agree. It's their
That's
fault.
what
I'm just going with what the chat would say. It's y'all's
I
fault.
come over here, I post a show, I pick the freaking room, and it goes there. I don't even go on your freaking chat.
Actually, Jack, I couldn't tell you last time anybody used the Pal Talk room. I mean, it gets used, but none of us use it for the shows anymore. You know?
Uh-huh.
We don't. You know what? I can see it on the other computer over there, but there's like 5 people there from what I can see from here. I
Maybe
haven't
they
put it.
should be in one of the other like 8
I haven't.
platforms.
I haven't put it on this. I haven't put it on this one yet. You
Mm.
need this computer. I haven't put it on this computer yet. But anyway, no, bitch all the time about going. Actually, the other night, a bitch finally enough that three of them came in the chat room with us when Mike and I were talking that night. It took forever. I was bitching nonstop about it. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, what's the scariest ghost town or scariest place you've ever been?
Places don't scare me.
No,
Wait, because you're
But I
weird.
suppose we could go at the haunted forest in Romania.
Well, that's
it
that
pretty
would be
good one.
nice. Yes.
That would be a good one. I can
Phenomenal
see what that would
place.
be.
Phenomenal.
And you know what? My wife loved the Black Forest. She was over there as a kid because she was a military brat. I'm thinking just running through and no telling what got your ass there. That's probably where you first got
There's
probed
lots in the Black Forest.
running through that damn forest. Oh man.
But the Romanian forest is number one on the list for most haunted forests in the
Well, I
world.
guess so, because Blad's probably walking around through there going, "Let me suck your neck."
There's lots of stuff in there.
Yes, let me suck your neck.
Perfect for
baby.
napping.
Yes,
I did.
Isn't that what happened to Hansel and Gretel? They took a nap and then the witch got him. Look,
I had
people
a
do
nap.
not listen to Michelle. Y'all gonna get taken and eaten.
I had a nap.
Oh,
I had a
my God.
great nap in there. Slept like a baby.
That's because you was probably being possessed by some demon running around with your body while you're sleeping.
No, there are all kinds of stuff running around that place. There's no denying it.
Where's the one forest? I think it was on Ghost Hunters over where there's like a circle and they all got messed
That's
up
the
in
one.
it. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Were you in the circle?
Oh gosh, yeah. But if
Of
you're
course
not
she
careful,
was, because she's crazy.
that's where I had a nap. There's actually two circles. So if you don't get the right one, then you don't get the same cause and effect. But there's 6 ways into the circle when you come in. First off, it's like a 4-kilometer hike from where we came in. And for that circle, all the trails are marked. So people can't, because people will lose their way, right? So you just go in, and there's no wildlife. Like
No.
we didn't see any wildlife at all, like no birds. I mean, this is insects, things like that. There were no birds in the forest. We don't see any little rodents running around like you would anywhere else. You don't even hear birds. All you hear is this like humming, droning sound that keeps going on in the background. We found out afterwards, at the time anyway, there was a no-fly zone at the time. So we're thinking, okay, there's definitely something going on there with this droning sound. And the locals always catch images of UFOs over the mountain.
Mhm.
And you go in there and it's unbelievable the amount of stuff that's in there. But when you research it, you find out, like 60,000 years ago, there was a lake up there. And it's like, there's really a lot to it. But there's a portal. There's a portal up there. There are things that roam around up there. I kind of find it interesting that so many people get attacked up there. But I mean,
You have been probed.
we had phenomenal experiences, but no attacks. Because I wasn't at all at any time afraid to be up there. We had all kinds of things happening. Tree lines that are going down, trees are cracking and bending, and I know bent out of shape to start with, but they bend them, like something's bending them all back. It's just unbelievable. But it's just,
That'd be so cool.
you have to have a healthy respect for it, because it definitely followed us out. Something in there. There's several things in there, but one thing definitely followed us out.
What do you think it was that followed you out?
Well, we could hear. I mean, it's a whole other show to tell the whole story. But when we there's a lot that happened, but when we left, we could hear something, crunching in the brush behind us and beside us. And at one point, one of the girls took a photo. It was like an orb the size of a basketball back right on the trail. But we weren't in the woods anymore. Like we were outside of the forest, just in the clearing. And we could just hear it almost at our heels. And we ended up at a hotel, like at our hotel, which is a state-of-the-art hotel. You actually have to put a card in the wall to power up all the electricity in the room. And the phone started ringing and there was nobody on it. We had 2 people upstairs, 2 people, and myself and Melissa were downstairs. And her phone was just doing crazy things. I was just so grateful to have Wi-Fi. Everyone's videoing me and I'm just sitting there going, Wi-Fi, And at that point, she's just like, oh, she goes, are you seeing everything that's happening right now? I'm just like, yeah, this is great. So anyway, it followed back to Canada, and the 2 girls had issues probably for about 2-3 months afterwards. I just cleared it See, I'm really big on acknowledgement is empowerment, and I just don't give it to it. I just sat there, it's like whatever, and it didn't affect me at all. I don't find I get affected the same
I
way
think I
those
would
other
have to use
people.
some of them holy water rounds I got on it.
I don't know. I was like, you seriously
No,
talking to me
no,
like that right now?
I'm
And
serious.
then it
I
just
do have.
stops.
I've got silver bullet rounds and I got holy water rounds.
There's a
And so,
lot in there. It's a matter of knowing, like, what is it exactly? Like something came up growling, through the ghost box, a big thundering growl, and then the box says, "Go now, run." And I'm like, I don't run anywhere, but I will leave. I will have a healthy respect for whatever it is you are. I will go, But there's ET over there. There's so this growling we hear, like what is it really? Is it demonic? Is it ET? I mean, you have to understand you're in a really old land where a lot of folklore began there. Vampires, werewolves. There's a town, the Brasov in Romania, and they believe on the full moon, wolves come down from the mountain. Werewolves come down from the mountain and congregate in this. It's a huge courtyard at the base of the mountains. There are witnesses that say they see these things come down and,
my silver bullet sort of
congregate.
came in handy there. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, well,
I was sending them back to their mega. Pop, 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 pop.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're in an old folklore begins with a small, even if it's just a small grain of truth, it's a grain of something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had an experience somewhere. And then when it comes over to this part of the world, it usually comes over with people who have immigrated here with their belief systems and their superstitions. And, so you just don't know. You have to have a real healthy respect. Anywhere I go in the world, it's a real healthy respect. But what's really strange is when you're sleeping in one of these places, like I'm in Romania, I'm in Bran, not too far from Bran Castle. And at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I have something in my ear going, shh, like that.
I'd have been like, shut up.
I'm like, oh, it's freaking 6 freaking a.m. That's all I kept saying. Never mind, there's something in my ear. I'm like, it is 6 o'clock in the dang
Can't
morning.
you come back later when I'm awake? I mean, come
Who
on.
dare disturb my slumber? No, but it is a bit unnerving because it's just like when things sort of call you by name, it's just a bit disturbing. I don't like that. That's what wakes me up. It's very personal.
Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. A lot of fun.
Okay, let's see.
If we're running out of stuff to say, I'll tell you what, I had a dream last night, and this is the honest God's truth. It was like really real, too, that they got all of us, you, Michelle, Amelia, Joe, Michael, that they all called us up, and we had to go to the most haunted house there with demons and everything like that. We had to go in.
Did we go?
Yeah, we went. And then I woke up. It sucked,
Oh, so we don't even know what happened. You have to continue it tonight.
I know.
Let us know the outcome.
It was crazy. All of us were
Wow.
going to this extreme haunted house.
Maybe we all slipped into another
Let's
dimension.
go, man. Let's go to Stanley. Stay there for the winter.
Stanley. I was invited there once. Somebody responded to me for something I posted on Twitter. And I was like, oh, the Stanley. Like, oh, you're welcome anytime. All right, thanks.
Yeah, it's a beautiful hotel. I've never been there. But...
Yeah, no doubt. See, as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I have footsteps going on upstairs, and I'm the only one in the house.
Oh, really? Cool. Tell him I said hello, will you? Tell him Sean said hello.
Why you going to hear that? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Every now and then, but I mean, I hear all kinds of stuff going on upstairs right now, and I'm like, come to the realization, the only one home.
Have you ever?
Chihuahuas.
Have you figured out who they are?
Oh, we know who everybody is. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's
just
cool.
Original members of the family.
I'm coming up there with my holy water gun, and we'll see how many of them are left.
Holy water gun? Where are you, Van Helsing?
No. Actually, I'm serious. So a friend of mine was watching Hellboy, the first one. He calls me up one day. He says, I can make a holy water bullet. I'm like, dude, come on. He said, no, Joe. He said, I'm the one who got you them silver rounds, and he does keep me stocked with him. He's like, and the little bitches ain't cheap either. Each round's like $30 or something. And I was like, okay, whatever. So he comes over, First, you tried to make them out of some clear casing, but it leaked. I said, dude, it's making a gunpowder well. It's gonna be. It's not gonna do anything. What the hell? So then he came over with a casing with birdshot in it. He just filled the birdshot round with holy water. It works perfect. It actually where it holds the water there. When you whatever you target hit, it hits it with about 100 pellets. And each one's been dipped in holy water. It's gonna light. If you evil, it's gonna light your ass up for sure, buddy. You're gonna
That
be like,
sounds like one of those
whoa.
witch tests, man. Like
Yeah.
stack rocks on
But
their
it's
chest,
crazy.
and if
You
they
even
live,
thought about
they're a
it.
witch.
Yeah, or if they drown or not. Yeah, I know.
If they
I
die, they're a good Christian.
always loved that
You know what
one.
I mean?
If you
Oh,
float,
sure.
you,
If
you
you
were
tell
innocent.
Yeah,
So
that's
I guess 2 days later, when you float to the surface, you're like, oh shit, they were innocent.
right. Yeah,
It's just
I don't get the whole mentality of
I won
some of the
yet
things
another
humans have
bet
done.
on a burning of witches. That's the second bet I've won in the last 2 months. Everybody just gets off. Oh, they burn witches in I said, dude, they burn no witches in our country. Oh yeah, they did. I said, you got the wrong country. I said, they did in Britain. They just did in the United States. Oh, Salem, bro. I said, Salem did not burn any witches. You better go read your history, buddy. And he said, I bet you $100. I said, you want to lose $100? I said, shit, I just brought him with there.
They didn't burn them.
They didn't burn any of them. No, it's old wives' tale.
Oh
I was
wow.
just as surprised as you are when I found out, Sean. I was like, they burn witches up there.
Yeah.
See, if I would have had a good researcher who brought me into it, I'd have been betting money and losing it myself. But no, they didn't burn any. They did in England. They just didn't here. They drowned them, hung them, and stuff like that, but they didn't burn any. And I was like, you sure? And then just because I wasn't sure, then a special came out on TV about it, talking about no, they didn't burn any witches here. They did some other nasty shit to them, though. You'd be surprised some of the other stuff they did to them. I was really floored by it.
Yeah.
I was aggravated actually when I first heard. I said, "No, that's not true," because I was taught as a young kid they burned witches in Salem, man. And then I guess now they didn't. So
Well, there's a lot of people I know that are going to be upset about that.
yes, there are a lot of people going to be upset. By the time they get too upset, look it up for themselves. It's funny. It was weird too. I mean, first I learned about it from a friend of mine. I had a hard time believing, so I went online and looked, and I couldn't find any that were burned. Everything said no, there wasn't any burned. And then, like 2 weeks later, TV. It's like it was some piece of information that I needed to know for some reason. It was like 2 weeks later, they did a big TV special on it, and then about a week after that, one of my friends who specialized in this stuff came up. He said, "No, I researched it. They don't. They're right. They don't." And I was like, "Well, what the hell was that?" He said, "They burned them in England, Joe. They should have hell didn't burn them here." I still, even today, even after I know it's not true, I still have an issue with it.
Yeah, I never heard of them burning them here, pushing off of cliffs, doing the stones, stacking stones on their chest, as they're laying down and
I've heard of
restricting
stuff like
breathing,
that.
things like that. Yeah, man, lots of
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to
it's
have to
just,
do some research on
yeah,
that.
that's the best thing to do because when we first found out about it, it was a strange thing.
Hmm.
It's well because everybody, it's one of them things that we were taught.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, you go to Salem. I haven't been there yet, but a lot of people I know that have gone there, and that's all they talk about them being burnt up there.
No, you
yeah,
should
because
go, man.
it's
Mom
good
took
for
me there when I was
business.
a
But
kid.
no, really, most of them were drowned as they had a thing. It was
I got
like a
to experience the real Salem, man, when I was young. Like Mom took me there. I think I was like 7 or 8 or whatever. We got to go through like the secret passageways and like in the House of Seven Gables and other buildings like that. It's all blocked off now. I understand, but cool, man. Interesting place, cute little town, really is. It's on the water. It's nice.
It's let me see,
Michelle,
is
you
this
ever been to Lilydale?
Where?
Lilydale.
Many times. Yeah, I've got friends there who live there. Have you gone?
there you go. How did burnings of witches take place? Burning of witches never actually took place in the United States. That's straight off of Google for you, but it's not the only place. It tells you all over the place.
Huh.
It's just, and it said a lot of people didn't even think about it until J.K. Rowling wrote some story, and then it made people go look, and we found that. No, but it did happen in England. It just didn't happen here. Not sure why it didn't happen. I don't even know if it happened in Canada, but in the United States, it didn't happen. I was disappointed by that. I shouldn't say this because nobody needs to be burned to death, but it just caught me off guard.
I thought the witches went to Canada.
They tried to get away. They might have tried to go to Canada or New Orleans because they seem to be protected down there.
There's a lot of Canadian witches. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all. Especially when they like ravens and crows too, huh?
Especially.
That's good eating, man.
Shut up,
Good
Michael.
eating.
Somebody's familiar. I probably ate somebody's familiar. Said, "Damn, he ate my familiar."
Yeah, wherever.
Especially around Thanksgiving. Gotta have that
Yeah,
stuffed crow.
stuff that's
You'd
stuck there.
starve if you tried to eat
That
one. They're
stuff in.
scrawny as
I
hell.
know. It's well, who knows for sure,
That
people.
robin egg stuffing. Oh man.
This
You know,
ball,
tell you,
this
Robin's one of the best birds I've ever eaten, and boy, but you can't hunt them anymore. It's illegal hunting suckers now.
That's
this
true.
Dolly Saffron said she's been there and they were mostly drowned or hung. Thank you, Dolly.
That's what it was. But Hollywood made it into they were burned there, so most Americans, because they don't take the time to educate themselves, found that's what they believed. I tell people all the time, you can't believe what you see on TV, but they did it. You know, most of them were hung and burned. There was a few other ways. There was one where they pulled them apart with two oxes. Um,
Same
if
thing
that,
they did to William Wallace, only with
yeah,
horses.
that's what I'm saying. So I mean, they I'm not saying they were any less nasty than our British relatives were, but they just did it in a different way. Yeah, P.S. So I know we got to get out of here because the Horsefly Chronicles is coming up next. I wonder if they've been pulled apart by a horse. Ooh, it could be.
Of course they have. They're from Staten Island.
Just,
Jeez. Mike,
oh man, I give them
wow.
trouble. I give them trouble because everybody I know from Staten, I know about 5, 6 people from Staten Island. They're all crazy. So
Wow,
Phil and
Mike.
Julie, if y'all listen, I'm worried, man. I'm just worried. That's all I'm saying. Because everybody I know from there it must be something that's in the
Because
air.
you know what? You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Right? They know that New York doesn't want them.
Oh
Right?
shit.
Because they're really not part of it. If you look at a map, it's just it's kind of like a canker store on New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Rather than like a New York experience, you cross that bridge. That's why the bridge is so expensive,
So what?
man. It's like $20 to cross the bridge now, because they don't want people from Staten Island going into Brooklyn. It's that simple.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
these Staten
You
Island
know
people
what?
are
Our
the
mutual
plague, man.
friend there, before she passed away, said the best pizza is in Brooklyn, and she has to pay like a total $20 to go over the bridge to get the pizza.
So I guess if they deliver it, it's going to
So
cost you
yeah,
$60 to get it, huh? Well, no, but they're not in New York anymore. They're in Pittsburgh, right? That's where they are
you
now.
can't take Staten Island out of people. That's the problem, man. It's like DNA.
It kind of is.
It's
Everybody I know
written.
from Staten
My
Island.
It's
DNA
written.
is exceptional. Never mind.
Written in their DNA, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm
Some
not going to
weirdos.
hate on Staten Island. They got some good food there too, man. Good
They got
Italian.
some weirdos there, is what they've got. And we'll just leave it at
Well,
that.
you know what they've got? They've got this huge, insane asylum. And I know this girl who's a belly dancer. She's been begging me to come down and investigate because there's an old section, you know what I mean, that you can get into, and it's like all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And then they have another whole
How come
section.
I got in this thing so many times?
But that's Staten Island.
Well, I got to go, guys. Thank
Yeah,
you, Joe.
we're
Nice
good.
meeting
Yeah,
you.
we're out of here.
Bye,
Sean,
Sean.
nice
Take
having you,
care.
Michael,
man.
take care, buddy.
We got to let the other Pittsburgh people come in and hang out
Hey,
for a
see you,
while
man.
and let them have that thing.
Are they from Pittsburgh?
They're from Staten Island. They
Staten
live in
Island?
Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's
Oh,
why that's why.
Pittsburgh.
I'm
Oh,
You
like,
know what I
this
like
is
man.
about
it.
Pittsburgh?
You're
It's got a
bad,
great
dude.
biscotti shop right on. I think it's River Street. Is it River Street?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like this amazing biscotti. All they make is biscotti, and they distribute it around. And wow, some fresh biscotti. That's what I'm thinking about, man.
All right. See you
Pittsburgh.
guys.
You're
Have a
good,
good
Bye.
one.
buddy. Anyway, we got to get out of here, ladies and gents. Coming up next is the Horsefly Chronicles. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to us chit chat tonight about different subjects. I lost track of how many we crossed tonight, somewhere about 30. So just find one you like and sit down and listen. There was a lot of different stuff. Michelle was giving us a recipe for crows, so that's an interesting thing. So
How
you have to
about
definitely
Staten
listen to
Island
that.
crow pizza? There
Ooh,
you
there
go.
we go, man.
Buffalo crow.
I bet you Crow Gizzard's pretty good. Like their stuff. Oh man. Anyway, we got to go, guys and girls. Coming up next is the Horsefly Chronicle. Hang out for Julie and
Brooklyn
Phil
style.
Saracusa, and they will
Without the
be on in
toll.
about 10 in about 10 minutes. Until then, have some fun, enjoy your lives, and we'll see y'all. Well, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Michael will see y'all tomorrow. Michelle will see y'all Wednesday and Thursday. So hang out until then, and we'll see what happens.
Hasta
Good night,
luego.
everybody.
Reject Satan in all of its forms.